Welcome to Horror Cinema Obsession. Here, we dive deep into the chilling depths of horror cinema, from the critically acclaimed scares to the laughably ludicrous, and even the delightfully obscure. Now, let's join our hosts, Richard and Angelus, as they share their love, laughs, and sometimes sheer disbelief at the world of horror movies.
All right. Hello. Angelus, why were you flipping me off just now?
I wasn't flipping you off.
Oh, man.
You're lying sack of potatoes. I was giving you a thumbs up.
I was about to ask you with your middle finger. I was about to ask you, like I always do, how's my beautiful co-host? But I was met with such animosity. I was like, whoa.
I think you need new glasses.
You blew me out of my socks.
You looked at the finger. I was giving you a thumb.
It was not a thumb.
It is. They're just like similar length.
Oh my God. Short stubbies.
Short stubbies. Full sausages.
Well, cool. How is my beautiful co-host? I'm Richard, by the way, guys.
You're what? I'm good, man.
You're good?
Yeah. This week has been rough. It's hot. I don't want to do anything.
Today's the hottest day of the week.
All week was just hot.
Hey, we're recording a day after the 4th of July, America's birthday. That was exciting.
You know, you came out. It was your anniversary.
For meeting your parents, your family, like your close family, your brother, Madison.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was something else.
I know you
guys threw a big party for me. That was amazing.
I know. To greet you and fed you and everything.
Yeah, and then the whole block had fireworks. It was crazy.
Just for
dude.
you, and then this year we're like, it's 1 year. You met my family. Let's do it all over again.
I know. This time I was a little more comfortable, though. I wasn't as nervous.
I can tell.
Yeah, I'm all chill. I'm like eating food. I'm like, yo, what's up?
I know. Last year you were like, no, thank you.
No, thank you.
I don't want to eat anything.
I still have to learn a little bit of Spanish so I can talk to your parents a little.
Oh. How are you doing? You have a long weekend.
I know, 4-day weekend. Shout out. I'm doing pretty good. My week wasn't as terrible. You know, work's a grind as it always is. But it's Friday, TGIF. It's recording day. You know, it's the favorite day of the week, at least for me. I don't know how you feel about it, but I have my notes ready. I studied it. I watched that movie multiple times.
Like 5 times?
No, I didn't.
You were recording the entire movie when I walked in the door?
Well, it's been nice. Like in my gym, I put it on. I've watched it 2 times while working out. So it's kind of nice having it there. But then I actually sat down and watched it once with you and then once earlier today just because I had time to kill. It was nice.
Oh.
Oh.
Very nice, very nice.
So yeah, the movie we're covering today, I'm sure we always act like it's a surprise. I'm like, wait, tell them, Angelus. But clearly you're going to see the title on the podcast track. But let's tell them. What is it?
Deep Blue Sea. I don't know why I wrote down on my notes Dark Blue Sea.
So 1999, Deep Blue Sea. Your initial thoughts?
It was good. It was entertaining. It was funny. I liked the ending very much so.
I think this was a good palate cleanser after last week's super dark doom and gloom. This definitely was a lighter aspect of horror. I enjoyed it. And I learned something about myself. I think I enjoy creature features.
You.
They're right up my alley. It's fun. I love it.
Nice.
But you, not so much. But you had fun with this one. I seen you giggling a couple times.
I never said I don't like creature features.
Mm-mm. Yeah, but you don't lean to it. It's not it's not something you're going to be like, yo, let's go check that out. Where I'm like, dude, we got to watch this.
I'm like mental stuff.
Yeah, you're like, you want something that's going to mentally fuck you up for a week?
Let's
watch it. I'm like, dude, I just want to sit down and enjoy something, man. I don't want to question my life.
It's good sometimes questioning your life choices.
I agree.
And where you're going in life, Richard.
I agree, but I don't want my world turned upside down over a movie every time.
And just shake it off after.
Sometimes I want to watch a good just slasher, a little fun, watching fucking young adults get slashed up.
What did you have us watch last night, Richard?
Oh my God. America. Fuck yeah. Here to save the motherfucking day. How'd you like that one? Team America, World Police.
It brought back memories that I have seen it before, forever ago.
Oh man, you gotta love it.
You gotta love it.
Yeah.
I was like, I remember this fucking puppets.
I just like the songs. America.
Fuck yeah. It was a very explicit movie at one point.
I know.
I looked up and there's all this fornication going on.
Puppet sex? That's weird.
It was weird.
Anyways, hey man, celebrating it.
It was like the fucking Kama Sutra with puppets.
It was a perfect nightcapper, okay? We had a good celebration, fireworks everywhere. It was fun. I had fun.
I know. Next year, I saw pictures today of those drones. They look pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. At the
Missed out.
casino, they had the drones out there, dude. That bald eagle looked majestic as fuck.
I did.
Soar, eagle, soar. Anyways, to get back to it, I know 4th of July is exciting.
For
It
Richard.
was a blast. America's birthday.
Mhm.
But we got to get to business here. Deep Blue Sea. We got a lot to talk about here.
Mm.
This movie, I didn't
Blew
even
your
give you my
socks off?
opinion. This movie is one of my favorites. And I'm going to say this is my favorite shark movie for sure.
Oh, shit.
Even over Jaws. A lot of people are going to be like, oh, Richard, you're a piece of shit, blah, blah, blah. You've got no taste. But I argue that I do have taste. I just enjoy this a little bit better. It's not like it's high octane. Yes, some of it's nonsensical. A lot of it doesn't make sense, but it's fun. And there's a lot of kill scenes. I love it.
It makes me want to go through and watch like summer slasher
Yeah.
movies, and I want to go back and watch Piranha, like I don't know when it was made.
Oh, in the 70s or the 80s, or do you want to watch the remake?
No, not the remake, the original.
Yeah, the original one. Is that late 70s?
I don't know. I just remember it used to be kind of creepy, like you're fucking chilling, swimming, and there's all this like
Fucking piranhas.
people eating little fishies
Yeah.
coming for your toes.
Yeah, no, we could definitely watch that down the road, I think. I enjoy these kind of movies, though. It's fun. Like, you have an adversary that you got to take on, and it's survival, you know, apex predator versus man.
Versus men.
But yeah, anyways, you looked up where this movie was shot.
I did.
Where was it?
My next living quarters.
What?
Rosarito, Baja California, Mexico.
Oh, yeah. How close to Colima is that?
It's far away from Colima.
Oh, really?
It's like, you know how there's the California that you know?
Mm-hmm.
When the two countries were separated, there was a North California and a South California. So that's what this state stands for, is Southern California. Baja California.
Okay, so
And
this is in
Mexico?
that area.
Yeah, so it's in there. So if you look at the map of Mexico, off to
Mhm.
the side, it looks like a boot cutoff.
Yeah.
That's Baja California. That's where the movie was filmed.
Nice. I'm pretty sure I got dental work done there.
No, you didn't.
It's cheap. I can't help it.
Stupid.
But no, that's pretty cool. I mean, imagine. I'm jealous. I wish I was part of this film because I've been acting out some of it. as you can admit to it, that you're witness to it. I think I would have done really well, and it would have been a vacation. It would have been fun just chilling in Mexico filming this movie.
Know, right?
I know.
We would have gotten to meet, maybe have a
bro down with LL Cool J and Sam Jackson
and bond over parakeets. You could have had one of your own too.
Yeah, parakeet that says "Eat my ass."
This poor bird.
Fat butt.
Fat butt.
But no, this movie it had a modest budget, really, or it was a decent budget. So it was released in 99. The budget was approximately $60 million, which is pretty good. And then the film went to gross around $164.6 million globally.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty impressive. So the movie was popular. I remember this. I didn't see it in theaters, but if you guys remember in previous episodes, we pirated satellite TV, and this was in the prime of it. So I watched this movie 100 times when it was released onto like satellite TV. It was nice. So no, I enjoyed it as a kid. I think that's why I enjoyed it now. But yeah, no, 164.6 million globally. That's a huge, this movie made over 100 million in profit.
That's a pretty good turnaround.
Right? I'm impressed. but it doesn't hold weight towards the top grossing movie of that year. Do you know what it is?
The top grossing movie of that year? I'm
going to tell you.
Oh my lord.
I did see this one in movie theaters. I was
Okay.
stoked. Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. You know what this bad boy grossed? $924.3 million worldwide in 1999. That's nuts.
That's a lot.
Was it? So, hold on, my ADD brain's going crazy. Was the Wild Wild West released that year too, or is that in like 97?
I have no idea.
Can you look it up real quick? With Will Smith. I seen that movie in theaters, and I remember going to Burger King getting Wild Wild West toys and my Happy Meals.
Wild
West.
A TV series?
No, it was a movie.
Man, you tripping. 1999. Will Smith.
Yeah, what did gross?
1999. I don't know. Box office $222 million on a budget of 170.
Oh, so that was kind of a flop.
Yeah, they made 50 million over the budget.
Dang. So that doesn't even hold weight to the Star Wars Episode 1. Yeah, we got to watch it. You've never seen it.
No.
Oh, dude. Will Smith even has a song that he made to go with it, but it does hold it, but it doesn't compare to LL Cool J's hit song off this album, which Angelus will rap in its entirety at the end of this episode.
No, me way.
I thought you were practicing it.
So yeah, Fox Baja Studios. The team constructed the sets above large water tanks that had been built for James Cameron 1997 Titanic.
Oh my God, you got to work Titanic into everything.
I was like, we can talk about Titanic again. It was pretty cool. Some of the sets were made to submerge, while the other ones were built on sound stages, and they used fish tanks as windows at times.
Sweet. That's pretty cool.
And then there was the use of real sharks. But
animatronic sharks, CGI,
or computer. They did say that some of the animatronics that they used were like 26 feet friggin' long.
Huge, yeah.
They were built by the same people that built Willy and Free Willy, and then the snakes in Anaconda.
So you can tell, like, the animatronics, like, when the marine biologist gets lifted up, she's like, I don't want to die. And then she's like being eaten, and LL Cool J being drug over.
I guess for the sharks that they used in this movie, it took him 8 months to build it. And then after they were done with all of their filming in Baja California, they went over to the Bahamas and filmed with some real sharks there.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. That's cool.
Yeah, and then I guess the director, his idea was he wanted to really show a lot of like actual sharks in this movie, where in comparison to Jaws, you see a lot of like the hidden.
Right.
The sharks not really. Yeah. And then there was a commentary by Samuel Jackson who said that the sharks looked like a huge monster, like when he saw one of the animatronics.
Yeah.
And then he said that to the touch, it felt like he was explained that the touch, what he was feeling was like a real shark.
Right.
And that the gills even moved. So how cool would it have been to see like being able to see a monster without it having been like real.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. That's cool. Do you have any more?
That's it for now. I'll sprinkle more later.
Okay, so I do have on my notes, I'm like, is Deep Blue Sea considered horror? And this is what I came up with.
Wait, is this like Google or is this your personal?
This is me personally.
Okay.
So I said yes, Deep Blue Sea is considered a horror film. It combines elements of science fiction, action, and thriller genres, but its primary focus on the genetically engineered sharks attacking human places it firmly within the horror category, in my opinion.
Oh, see, I didn't see it as horror.
Really?
I saw it as sci-fi action thriller.
I mean, yes. So that's why I was kind of addressing it. It has all the elements, but in its deep roots, it's horror for sure. It's a creature feature, in my opinion. But you're thinking it's more action?
To me, there's a lot of running. You know, it's the shark. It's coming for you to eat you.
Like Jason and his machete. Freddy in your nightmares.
Yep.
Just saying. Horror.
Just saying. No, what? No, that's different. That's terrifying.
Okay.
You're just trying to defend the shark now. Because it's one of your favorite movies.
Okay, so in 1999, your favorite part, you looked up horror movies that came out in 1999. What'd you get? Because I got a pretty extensive list, so you better hit all of them.
No, I tried to trim it. I found movies that came out were The Haunting, Lake Placid, Another Feature Creature, Bats. I don't think that I've seen this movie. House on Haunted Hill. Yeah, Haunted Hill. Sleepy Hollow, one of my favorite movies.
So this year was kind of a funky year for horror because that's when they were doing that. They were going back to 50s films.
Remaking them?
Yeah, like House on Haunted Hill. Like no films people were asking for. And you could say about Sleepy Hollow too. There's another classic horror tale based off a book, but yeah.
Remade, yeah.
Anyway, sorry, continue.
Ravenous, Stir of Echoes.
Ooh, Stir of Echoes. Who's in that?
Kevin Bacon.
Ooh, you did your research. I'm proud of you, kid.
Shut up. Stigmata.
Mm-hmm.
Rage, Carrie 2, Idle Hands, another favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept it at that because I knew you were going to unleash with the rest of the movies. Oh.
Dude, okay. So we have The Mummy you didn't bring up. We have Audition, The Sixth Sense, The Blair Witch Project, Warlock 3, The End of Innocence, Resurrection, From Dusk Till Dawn, 2, Texas Blood Money, The Item, The Killer Eye, Retro Puppet Master, Colobos, The Hypnotist, Ice from the Sun, I, Zombie, The Chronicles of Pain, The Haunting of Hell House.
That's what I said.
Did you? Okay. Gemini, The Ring of Virus, Shark Attack, Whispering Corridors 2, Memento Mori, and Mutation. Also Night World, Survivor. What's up?
What's up?
And then for lightheartedness,
oh, Lord.
I also added Alvin and the Chipmunks Meet Frankenstein.
Okay, it's in horror. I'll allow it.
I just had to add it. I had to lighten it up, a little bit of levity. So yeah, I mean, this was a pretty good year in 1999. We've already kind of been in this year because if people remember, we covered the Blair Witch Project where we got lost in the woods too on the podcast. We went into the void, man. It was nuts.
It was nuts getting out of there.
Yeah, I didn't think we were going to make it out.
Stupid.
Oh my God. But this one's not going to be the case. We're going to make it because we dove headfirst into this. And break. No, I'm just kidding.
You're so good at the dad jokes, Richard.
What? No, I'm not. You're the only one that thinks that's entertaining. Everybody's like, this fucking idiot.
We're going to dive head first.
Moving on to the cast. How'd you feel about it?
I like the cast. I didn't realize until I recognized a couple faces. And
I went pretty extensively in Samuel L. Jackson's career, by the way, so continue.
I recognized a couple faces, and then I went back and I was reading some other work, and I didn't freaking realize that Saffron Burrows, who plays Dr. Susan McAllister,
The Marvel,
she's Dottie on You.
Oh shit! Really?
She's the mom, Dottie Quinn.
Who was that?
Dr. Susan McAllister, the main girl who messes with the sharks.
Oh.
She's the mom in You.
Is she?
Love's
what
mom?
The
yeah.
fuck?
And then
Dude.
I watched it this morning. I watched the movie again this morning and I was like, oh yeah, fucking Dottie.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh.
She has an accent in this movie though. I don't know. Did you find out where she was from?
Mm-mm. Well, maybe. I don't know. I'll have to read my notes. But anyways, obviously the star of this movie,
LL Cool J? Richard.
He was just getting started in his career, but the star of this movie that brought in the crowds wasn't the shark. This was Samuel L. Jackson, the guy that's been in everything.
180 acting credits.
So, yeah, which is impressive, but you know why he took this role? because he had a personal fondness for monster movies. Growing up, he enjoyed going to see monster films with his friends, and he would reenact them at home with someone playing the monster. Taking the role in Deep Blue Sea allowed him to fulfill a childhood dream of starring in a monster movie himself.
Adorable.
I know.
See, some dreams do come true.
Which is kind of cool that he did it. So obviously, I think he had fun doing it. Because he's one of the most prolific actors in Hollywood. I mean, he's been in everything.
Yeah.
And he's spanned decades. I think one of his first acting gigs was, from what I seen, was Together for Days.
Okay.
When he played a guy named Stan, and this was in 1972.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, and this dude's still acting.
Going hard. I love him every time we go to the comedy club. Turn up your motherfucking bones.
Turn off your motherfucking bones. But no, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to cover all his movies, but you know what he was in?
All
that
the
I
Marvel
remember.
movies, Nick Fury.
Wow. No, you know what he was in? Goodfellas.
Goodfellas.
He
Pulp
plays
Fiction,
Stax. Well, yeah, he's in all the Tarantino films.
Glass.
He was Jurassic Park. Dude. Die Hard 2? Fuck, he was the taxi driver? That shit was dope.
Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. He was even in a Star Wars, the episode 9 that came out in 2019.
Dude, yeah, he's Mace Windu, dude.
Incredibles, The Other Guys.
Yeah, oh yeah, man.
More recently in Argyle.
He was in Triple X, SWAT.
And then the Garfield movie, he did a voice.
Fuck, man. So, Lakeview Terrace, that was a good one.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much, he's been in everything.
Yeah, man. That's fucking dope. I like him. Snakes on a Plane, we need to cover.
He was there too?
Yeah, he's the star. You've never seen it?
It's been a really long time, and I try to block it off because I don't like snakes.
Oh. It's a good one. But yeah, no, in the 2010s, he really was in, can I just name it? I know you want to move on to different actors.
Go on.
But dude, 2010s, he was really taking off. Iron Man, The Other Guys, Thor, Captain America, The Avengers, Django Unchained, RoboCop, the remake, Captain America, The Winter Soldier, Kingsman, The Secret Service, Avengers, Age of Ultron, The Hateful Eight, Kong, Skull Island, Avengers, Infinity War, Captain Marvel, Avengers Endgame, Spider-Man, Far From Home. And then the 2020s, The Banker, Spiral, Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, The Protege, and Secret Headquarters. So this guy, oh my God. Does he not take breaks? He must not,
it
dude.
Doesn't sound like
He must just go gig to gig to gig. Busy, man. That's awesome.
I know. What a life it must be.
Do you know how old he is?
No.
That's one thing I didn't look up.
Fail.
Google real quick.
Let's Google Samuel L. Jackson.
Thanks,
He
Hipshot.
is 75 years old.
So he's 75?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, dude. I thought maybe he was in his 60s.
1948, he was born.
Wow, that's impressive because he's still going hard.
Yeah.
Fucking hash brown Nick Fury.
As of 2021, he's the highest grossing live action actor of all time, with films having grossed over 27 billion worldwide.
Holy shit.
Right?
I mean,
nuggin fucks.
That's an impressive feat. I mean, he's been in every single action movie, so
yeah.
No, that's pretty good. I want to throw shade at him. That's awesome. And then next we have LL Cool J, James Todd Smith. That's right. I did my homework.
Yeah.
Angeles.
Where does LL Cool J come from?
What do you mean?
Like what it stands for?
James Todd Smith.
No, that's his full name. That's his birth name.
Oh, I don't know. You tell me.
Are you ready? You're like, when he started rapping, his stage name was LL Cool J, which stands for Ladies Love Cool James.
Oh, dude, he's smooth as fuck, man.
Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh.
Shit, dude. I remember back in the day, Mama Said Knock You Out was dope.
Ladies Love Cool James. There you go. Yeah.
Ladies love Cool James. So yeah, his notable things, I think recently people are going to know, like if you were a child that was born in like 2008, you're going to know him in NCIS Los Angeles. But if you're our age, you're going to remember he took off in, what was it? He took off in the movies. I first remember him, not in this one, but I remember him in Halloween, H2O. He plays the security guard, but then shortly after that, I remember him in this movie, which is awesome. And then I got the thing where the trope that I don't think's real. Rappers don't die in movies because they'll die for real.
Oh my gosh, stupid.
Because he never died in any of the movies. So I made that up in my head, I think. Me and my buddy Dennis. But yeah, he was also in Any Given Sunday, In the House, SWAT, and Deliver Us from Eva.
Charlie's Angels, too.
Oh, he was.
Grudge Match, The Deal.
Oh, okay. Oh, keep going. Sorry.
Oh, The Deal, Mindhunters. And then, yeah, he was in, like you mentioned, NCIS Hawaii, but also LA.
Yeah, for me, it's Los Angeles. So it wasn't Hawaii.
I saw Hawaii in there, too, for his credits.
Oh, that's pretty cool. And he's still doing that. And he's got to be, what, in his 50s?
Am I supposed to look it up too?
No,
I didn't know we were writing down ages.
You should have this prepared. You know my questions.
No, I didn't know you were gonna ask me all this stuff. He's 56.
Damn, and he's still looking buff as fuck. He's getting that TT treatment, testosterone. And then we have the actual star of the movie, or the hero of the movie, Thomas Jane, which he is pretty good. So I looked this up. I'm like, is Thomas Jane like a superstar? He's not. He's like a tier lower, but the dude's accomplished. And I've seen a lot of the stuff he's in. Like some of the notable filmography that he has is The Punisher in 2004. I remember that. Boogie Nights, 61. He played Mickey Mantle, and The Mist with that fucked up ending. And he was in a series called Hung. Have you ever seen that?
No.
Yeah. How do you feel about him?
I think he was pretty good for the role. He's also a producer and director. He has some credits on that too.
Oh, what do you direct?
Did I write it down? I don't think that I wrote down his directing. I did. There was a movie that came out this year, Bosco. He was in it, and he was also a producer. Oh,
that's cool. Dude, he also was in Dreamcatcher too. You ever see that movie?
Dreamcatcher? I don't think so.
With Alien? Alien Invasion, I think. Oh.
No. And then Slayers was the other movie where he acted, and he was also a
Vampires.
Producer. And then The Tripper, he was also a producer in that movie.
Dude, that's pretty good too. I liked him in this role. I thought he was pretty good.
He reminds me of what's his name? The Deep.
A young Richard Cantabile, I know.
I know that too. No, The Deep from The Boys, because he's always wearing his leather suit, like sleeveless water suit. I was like, oh shit.
Oh my god. No, I liked him. And then you have Saffron Burrows. And this is the one you were talking about, right?
Yeah, as Dr. Susan, also actor, producer, and director. She was in Baghead.
Dude, Baghead, I just watched that. I did not see her in that.
Right?
I'm trying to remember.
White Widow, Dangerous Waters. Like I mentioned, she was Dottie. Mozart in the Jungle. She was in there for a few seasons. Small Apartments and Quitters. Dude,
so I think she's an actress or an actor that I don't remember, because she was in Troy also with Brad Pitt. Enigma. I don't remember any of Frida with, what's her name? Salma Hayek, I think.
Oh, she was in Frida?
See? All these movies, she's in that? I don't remember whatsoever in any of these.
I don't know why.
To be honest with you, I don't even remember in Deep Blue Sea. I think she's one of those actors, and I hate to be mean, but like we said this in It Follows, I think too. She just has a face. It's not ugly. It's not anything.
Oh my God.
But it's just a forgettable face. It's nothing of note.
I don't think she's forgettable. She's beautiful. I just don't know. I don't know. Like, I watched the entire show and I don't know. I just didn't.
I don't remember. I just
didn't connect that it was her. After I read that it was her.
Yeah.
And I rewatched the movie this morning. Yeah, I could totally see Dottie.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, usually I'm pretty good with faces, but this one, I was like,
maybe we just haven't watched a lot of the stuff that she's made.
Yeah, that's got it. Well, I've seen Frida, I've seen Enigma, I've seen Troy. I've watched Boston Legal.
I know, that's 4. In comparison to how many things have you seen Samuel Jackson's face on?
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Yeah.
And you're going to remember his face.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, she didn't really stand out. But a guy I do that does stand out, and we need to see him when he comes back, Michael Rappaport. I love this guy. Anything he's in, I enjoy it. You just showed me, you introduced me to the show Atypical.
Yes, and you enjoyed it.
I do. I enjoy it. Gotta love that tism, baby. I'm on the spectrum too, guys. It's cool. But yeah, no, he was pretty good. He plays an engineer in this movie.
Tom Scoggins.
Michael Rappaport?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. Scoggins is the character name. But so some of the movies he was in, True Romance, The War at Home, Higher Learning, Boston Public, Atypical. I know he's been in a bunch more. I know he's in Sylvester Stallone movie Homeland, I believe was what it was called.
Yeah, he was also apparently in Life and Beth, which we haven't seen. It's a show with Michael Cera and what's her name?
Oh, I watched that. It's good.
Did?
Yeah, the comedian, blonde hair. I forgot her name.
Amy Schumer.
Yeah, Amy Schumer. I actually like that show. A lot of people shit on her.
Yeah, I like her. Yeah, he's been in I was looking there. He has so many acting credits too. Hitch with Will Smith, The Heat. He's done voices in cartoons, Pound Puppies.
Oh, shit.
For like 3 years.
Dude, yeah. I mean, I enjoy him. So I enjoy him in anything he does. He's kind of the same character in everything, but it's good. It fits everything.
It fits him.
And then moving on, we have Stellan Skarsgård. So I recognize this guy. I recognize him. He was a professor in Good Will Hunting.
Okay.
The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I remember that. Mamma Mia, I've never seen. Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest. I remember him in that. Chernobyl. And then, of course, the Marvel movies. I think he was in Thor. He's the scientist studying the Tesseract.
He was also more recently been in Dune Part 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah.
Andor, Soul of a Man, The Painted Bird. I watched Dune Part 1, but I haven't seen the second one. So to me, I haven't really recognized him from a lot of stuff. I'm solely
going off of Viana's review. She said it was entirely too long and she couldn't sit through it. And that was with her boyfriend at the movies.
She said she enjoyed it. I think you're imagining things up again.
Nope. She's like, it was too long, bro. Don't watch it.
Don't watch it.
I was like, oh, shit. And then just to round this out, we have Jacqueline McKenzie. And is she the marine biologist?
Yeah, Janice.
And then Ada Totoro. And a lot of people remember her in The Sopranos. She's Tony Soprano's sister.
She was also in The Blacklist.
Ooh.
From 2017 to 2023.
I do remember in Law & Order Special Victims Unit, she played a couple various roles.
Very nice.
So yeah, that rounds out the cast. Now, going to the director, do you recognize the name Rennie Harlin?
I don't.
Really? I did. I didn't realize he directed this movie. So Rennie Harlin is a Finnish film director, producer, and screenwriter known for his work in action, thriller, and horror genres. He was born on March 15th in 1959 in, I'm going to mess it up, Ramaki, Finland. Harlan initially studied at the University of Helsinki before moving to the United States to pursue a career in film. He gained recognition for his ability to handle high-octane action sequences and special effects.
Very cool.
Yeah. So I have a detailed filmography. Do you want to share it?
I saw he was the director on The Strangers Chapter 1, The Bricklayer.
Oh, yeah.
And Refugee, he was a director and producer. The Misfits, The Legend of Hercules, he was a director, producer, and writer in this one. Devil's Pass, director, producer. The Resident, he had producer credits. Covenant, Mindhunters, he was, and then Long Kiss Goodnight, he was a producer for that.
Die Hard 2, Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master, Prison, Born an American. What else? 12 Rounds. That's another one. Skip Trace.
I don't think that I've seen this.
You never seen it?
Mm-mm.
Oh shit, we might have to go through, guys. We might change our podcast to the Rennie Harlan podcast. I like a lot of these. I didn't realize how much I like this guy. But yeah, so he had those. And what I found too for his inspiration for this movie, he drew inspiration from Jaws, obviously, the classic shark movie. That the idea of a relentless, intelligent predator terrorizing humans in a confined environment was a direct nod to Jaws. And then Jurassic Park, the concept of genetic engineering leading to a catastrophic consequences was also inspired by a Spielberg movie, obviously Jurassic Park. And then The Abyss, and that's the one your boy James Cameron directed. It was an underwater sci-fi thriller inspired by settings of an underwater research facility. So direct ties to this movie. And then obviously the classic Frankenstein. They created something on the theme of scientific hubris and the unintended consequences of tampering with nature are reminiscent of the horror story Frankenstein. That's just some of the inspiration that Rennie got from, he's been quoted on saying was inspiration for this movie.
Very cool.
Yeah, and he said he's a big fan of creature features of the 1950s and 60s. And that definitely had an influence created through scientific experience, wreak havoc on humans is basically what he liked in those movies. So yeah, how'd you feel about the director?
I like him. He did pretty good. I like this movie.
Mm-hmm. What about the writers? What do you got?
We have 3 writers
with
credits. So first we have Duncan Kennedy. He is from Sunshine Coast, Queensland. Gosh darn it. I didn't write the state. Was that in Jersey? I don't know where. He studied at the Queensland Institute of Technology. He has written several screenplays, including Disney's Zero Gravity. And then he wrote Deep Blue Sea, which he sold to Warner Brothers
and this
Underground.
Is Duncan Kennedy, right?
Yeah. And
this remains his most prominent work by far.
Yeah, and so he said he was inspired by
real life shark attacks.
Yeah, so in his town, he witnessed a horrific shark attack at a beach that happened near his home. And then that contributed to apparently a recurring nightmare that he kept having. But in his nightmare, it was a passageway with sharks that could read his mind. And so that's kind of what drove the idea of him writing this story. And
this guy smoked a little too much.
He also acknowledged, that this movie, he thought it was going to be a challenge, approaching it without repeating Jaws.
I mean, any shark movie after Jaws gets compared to Jaws.
So Warner Brothers bought the script in the late 1994 and then started to develop it 2 years later. And
then a married couple took writing duties, and that's Donna Powers and Wayne Powers,
who are now divorced.
Yeah, but they did write The Italian Job together and Valerie Flake. I don't know Valerie Flake, but I know The Italian Job.
And I was going down the list trying to look him up, and I was like, these people have the same last name. And every work that I was looking, I was like, these people did everything together.
They're a team. Yeah, they're a team. Something to be said, makes a good podcast too. What's up?
Until it splits up. The doom.
Are you trying to say something?
No, I'm just saying.
Oh my God. No more.
No more. This is the end of the podcast.
No more. Oh, wow. So, yeah.
We can't end the podcast. We have a special request for next week.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any more on the writers?
Skeletons and Closet.
Wait, what's that? Something they wrote?
Yeah, that they wrote.
Okay.
And then, what else do they have? The Piper in 2023. That was, Duncan Kennedy. He has The Piper, Bait in 2012, Curse of the Talisman. And then, Donna and Wayne essentially have a lot of the same stuff, except for Wayne Powers wrote and produced Out of Order, Loves Me, Loves Me Not.
Cool. Interesting stuff.
Wow, Richard.
Do you have any other interesting facts?
I couldn't, tried and I didn't find stuff on them.
I couldn't find a whole lot either, other than they're a married couple that were quite a team, is what I read everywhere.
Very much so.
do you want to take a quick break?
We can certainly do that.
All right, we will be right back. Hey folks, ever find yourself struggling to outsmart genetically engineered sharks?
Or just need a mental edge to solve those deep sea puzzles?
Introducing AquaCortex Brain Boosters, the ultimate supplement for underwater geniuses.
That's right, Richard. Our brain boosters are specifically formulated to enhance cognitive function, improve memory, and keep you sharp even in the most perilous ocean depths.
Packed with oceanic nutrients and the wisdom of the sea, these brain boosters will have you thinking like a marine biologist and plotting like a shark.
Need to recall complex escape plans? Or maybe you want to remember all the shark deterrent protocols? AquaCortex Brain Boosters have got you covered.
Just take one before your next deep sea adventure and you'll be ready to outwit any aquatic adversary.
And for a limited time, each purchase comes with a free waterproof brain booster case, so you can keep your supplements dry and ready for action.
Don't dive in unprepared. Equip yourself with AquaCortex Brain Boosters and be the smartest fish in the ocean.
Order now and dive deep into brilliance. AquaCortex Brain Boosters are not scientifically proven to enhance cognitive function or protect against shark attacks. Do not attempt to outsmart genetically engineered sharks without proper training. Results may vary. Always swim responsibly.
All right. Well, we're back. I just got my AquaCortex Brain Boosters in. I'm ready to rock and roll, motherfucker.
Get you through next week.
Mm-hmm.
Until the following weekend. Did you realize the next weekend we have a fun weekend?
What's that?
The concert.
That's next weekend?
Yeah, it's next Sunday.
Fuck.
Broski.
I like it. We're going to Blink 182.
That is next weekend, right?
15th, right? Or 14th.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And then it's Viana's
14th.
birthday. Nice.
Summer concerts.
I'm pretty stoked. That's at the Gorge Amphitheater. So, guys, that's a chance to meet us if you want to go to the Gorge Amphitheater and watch Blink-182 with us.
And pierce the veil.
And pierce the veil. I'm stoked because we won't be the only mid-30s people there.
I know.
So, what's up? Anyways, let's close the tab on our discussion. Do you want to? We got our plots. You were writing your plot earlier. Do you have it ready? Is
I
it
do.
fully baked?
It's baked and loaded.
Ooh. And you're feeling confident? You like it?
No, I was like trying to like rush through it, but I got it done.
Guys, she doesn't show interest in this podcast.
Not at
I'm
all.
kidding. Let's hear it. I'm sure it's amazing.
Okay.
I only wrote one plot, by the way.
Oh, thank you so much
I didn't have
for not
time to
overdoing
write
it.
two.
After watching the movie 4 times.
Oh my God. I didn't watch it 4 times.
Okay. It says, on a remote floating research facility, a group of researchers tried to find the cure to Alzheimer's by performing experiments on sharks. Guided by their stubbornness and desire of success, doctors break ethical practice to achieve their goals, resulting in swimming Einsteins with sharp teeth. A tour of the facility results in inhabitants of Aquatica trying to outsmart the sharks at a chance for survival, proving the karma is real and more responsive than PETA. The end. Why are you looking at me like that?
Suspicious.
It's not what was online, okay? They don't call the sharks Einsteins.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Baby
they
Einstein.
don't call PETA.
That's what's tripping it up.
I didn't say baby Einsteins. I said swimming Einsteins with sharp teeth.
All right, here's mine.
Okay.
In an underwater lab, scientists led by Dr. Susan McAllister genetically enhance sharks to cure Alzheimer's. I can't say Alzheimer's. But the sharks become hyper-intelligent and deadly. As chaos ensues, their crew, including the stoic Carter and the witty Preacher, must outwit these lethal predators. Picture hyper-intelligent sharks plotting their next move like evil geniuses. If only they had mustaches to twirl. From daring escapes to intense confrontations, surviving Bruce and the other sharks requires all their wits and courage. Will they manage to restore order, or will the sharks' deadly intelligence leave them floundering in the sea of trouble?
Dun, dun, dun. There's
So
a fly in your plot.
I took creative liberties. Bruce the shark's jaws, obviously.
You said it's underwater. It's also on the surface.
It's mostly underwater. Get the fuck out of here.
Hey, it's my job to call you out and be technical, okay?
Oh my god, dude.
I'm kidding. It's good. I like the evil geniuses.
Yeah, they should be wearing evil mustaches, twirling it.
One of those.
A monocle or
Yeah.
oh. That's my rich smug laugh.
Aw.
So for
For what?
I can't remember.
Oh, I left.
Sophisticated.
Sophisticated. Twirling, spinning your little mustache into a
I
churro.
want some caviar.
Caviar. Have you ever had caviar?
I think once, but it was terrible. But it wasn't like good quality.
You need to buy like the one that's like hundreds of dollars.
I know.
I've heard.
You've had caviar?
Never.
It's
You
pretty
know,
bougie.
just
We
like-
got to go to Anthony's. Does have caviar.
They do. I don't know. Just like fish eggs, and then you see it in like tiny little cans for like fucking $80-$90. I'm like, I don't want to spend all my money on a little can of fish eggs that I may not like.
Yeah, that's true.
And then I saw a video.
Yeah,
of
but
them.
the thing is, if you do that, you know someone in your family is gonna like it.
No, but they're
Like
like
Maria would dig that, I think.
I don't know. They're tiny little cans, like that big, that I've seen. If you want premium caviar, and then they like the video was like, here's how it's caught, and they show them grabbing the poor fish and just slicing it,
Hey, our
grabbing all the
demographic
eggs.
is not the rich, okay?
I'm just explaining why I'm not intrigued by caviar.
Me neither.
You neither.
Do we want to go scene for scene? Do we want to start that motherfucking breakdown?
Sure.
Do you have your notes?
Yes.
Are you freeballing this shit?
I told you it was in my head.
Oh my god, I'm concerned. I'm fucking concerned.
Why?
Okay, so this movie, we pan in. It's the ocean. There's waves rocking and rolling. There's a boat on the sea, and there's some R&B music playing.
Is it LL Cool J?
I don't know. Do you know? I didn't look that up. I think it was just generic R&B.
I think so too.
And they're getting down to it, dude. It's two couples, what it appears to be two young couples. I don't know where they could afford that boat because they look like they're in their early 20s. I don't know.
Rentals.
They made good money apparently. At least one of them did. So they're getting going. They're grooving. They're grinding. What do the kids say?
I don't know. Getting it down.
They got happy feet.
Happy Feet. What the fuck?
Dancing.
That's a movie.
Yeah, so they're doing it. All of a
They're
sudden,
making out.
yeah, they're making out, and it gets interrupted by one of the sharks. So it like hits it. It nudges the boat, and they're like, "Whoa, what the hell was that?" And all of a sudden, it hits it again, and then the radio falls down, and the dude almost gets hit by the mast.
Mm-hmm.
And then the wine starts pouring into the water. And then all of a sudden the shark is ready to burst through the bottom. And they all fly off the boat from the impact of the shark. So they're floating there. You think, uh-oh, something bad's going to happen. But no. Our hero, what's his name?
Carter.
He comes in and he shoots the shark with like a tranquilizer thing. And then pulls it back. And then,
I saw two sharks. Did you see two or one?
just one?
I saw
Was
two
this
fins.
because he missed the shot and then he shot a second time? Now, was this a Gen 1 or a Gen 2 shark?
I think it was a Gen 1, they say later on.
Yeah, because he was a smaller one, and somehow he got out of the facility because it's like, later we're going to see it's like a pen for these sharks, like a prison almost, for these sharks that can't escape. So somehow this one got through.
Magically.
Yeah. So then after that, we see the helicopter going in what it looks like a big city. I always like to think it looks like Los Angeles, which I'm assuming since they're in Mexico.
Yeah. Did they ever say where it was set?
No, not necessarily, but I think it is because the helicopter later on, the helicopter pilot's doing the rescue or speaking Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
The people catching sharks because there's a tiger shark it's caught later we're going to cover. And the guy's speaking Spanish a little bit to Carter.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking it's somewhere along the lines. I think they kept it close to where they actually filmed it.
Okay.
So we see Dr. McAllister flying in to talk to the board about their Alzheimer's.
Their Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's. Yeah, I can't say it.
My
The research.
My great grandma had Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucked up, man.
It is. So, yeah, they're programmed. She's there to talk about it. And then it's kind of weird. A dude doesn't talk at all. He's sitting there at the desk.
He looks like he's the big man, too.
And I don't think he is. Because then Samuel L. Jackson's part of that board. And he's just standing there. You'd think he'd be sitting there.
Yeah, well, they get brought in because there's like news broke out that there was an escape of one of their sharks. They're showing like newspaper clips. There's an experiment and shark escapes and blah, blah, blah. So it makes it almost sound like they brought her in to be like, yo, what the fuck's going on over there? Your shark escaped?
They want to shut her down.
Yeah, and
we're done. We're hemorrhaging money on this.
Yeah, Russell's threatening to shut her down, cut her research. And she's like, have you ever known anyone who has Alzheimer's? And then she starts throwing stats at them of
laying
people,
it thick, yeah.
And how her dad had
and that
Alzheimer's.
that wasn't working. And then that's when she pulls the heartstrings about her dad.
Yeah, and she's like, what if it could all end with a pill? And then she's like, give me 2.
I know, but what was the story about their dad? Like, try telling your dad that his wife died 2,000 times.
Oh,
broke my heart every time.
Well, why the fuck would you do that though? Like, I've heard of stories like this where one of their spouses,
she's just out getting groceries, bro.
That's the story that's given to that I've heard actually been given to Alzheimer's, like people that are affected by Alzheimer's. When one of the spouses died, someone that we knew, like their spouse died, and every time the lady asked, they were like, "Oh, he's out doing something." She'll forget about it.
Yeah, exactly.
No one needs to tell her that her husband died over and over.
That's why this Dr. McAllister gets on my nerves right from the start, man. I'm like, this B-word.
She was so quote unquote ethical. She was actually supposedly telling the dad every time that his wife was dead.
And then that's when Samuel L. Jackson, his character, Russell, he's still going to shut it down. But then she's like, look, give us through the weekend, come take a tour, and we'll show you our research and show you
Monday.
Yeah, that we have a breakthrough. And he's like, all right, I'm intrigued. And then we see them flying in to what they call Aquatica, is the research facility. And so this is where you kind of see all the cast. You're introduced to Carter more, Jim Whitlock. He's the doctor. He's peeing into the wind. And Russell makes because the marine biologist.
She was like, he's a genius.
Yeah. Oh my God. And dude, so does she love this guy? Are they having an affair or something? Or it seems like they're pretty close. She's like drooling all over him.
Background story on the facility. McAllister says that it was a Navy-built facility underwater during World War II. And then they pick it up, and then Russell's like, oh, it looks like a floating Alcatraz. Mm-hmm. No, but with Jansen and Dr. what's his name?
Whitlock.
Yeah. They do have like a relationship going on. I saw that there's a deleted scene to the movie where the director actually it was more obvious that they were in a relationship. And Janice was actually pregnant, but then it didn't feel right to him to have her character die when she was pregnant, so he ended up deleting that.
That would have made it so much better. I would have been more intrigued.
Pregnant.
Dude, that would have been
But yes,
they're 2 for 1, baby.
They're in a relationship. And then this is where you see that guy that you were talking about that's bringing in like sharks to them, and they bring that.
Yeah, what's he say to Carter in Spanish, do you know?
Could you make it out? He was speaking English.
No, but he speaks in Spanish because it said Spanish in because we watched
the subtitles.
Yeah.
He says it. I don't know. He's telling him it's a good deal.
Yeah.
To get it, he's like, "Do you want it? Do you not want it?
Do you want it? Let me go."
He's like, "It's a 12 feet short, 12 foot long."
Yeah, and Carter's like, I guess we'll take it.
It was like 12 foot long shark.
$5 $5 foot long.
But yeah, McKellen is like, Janice is gonna give you a tour of the facility. She's the marine biologist.
And then you could kind of tell Janice is a little bit of a brown noser too.
Why?
I don't know. She just gave me the vibe. She's brown nosing like a motherfucker.
I think she's just trying to be friendly.
I know. I just
She-
get the vibe like I would have hated Janice. Right
Well,
off the bat.
he's the money dude, so they gotta be nice to him.
I know, but I'd be more like Carter. I'm like, yeah, bro, that's cool.
Yeah, and then
Because at this point, the fish that the guy does drop off has a license plate stuck in its mouth. I thought this was a pretty cool scene. Carter gets in like a badass, jumps
he's
in that
swimming
water.
in there. Franklin doesn't know. He's like, hi.
Who's Franklin? Oh, Russell.
Russell Franklin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When he's off the thing, and then everybody kind of looks. McAllister has a smirk. She's like, "Huh, this is gonna be good." And then Carter does he does flips and tricks. He has this like karate stance in the water when he's facing down the shark.
I'm telling you, the deep.
And then so he does his little karate Cheeto chop thing, gets on the back of the shark, and then rips the license plate out of the shark's mouth.
Mhm.
Which now the shark's pretty happy. And that's when Russell's like, "Hey, look out." And then Carter gets out of there. He throws the thing in front of the guy. And what's he say? Because he's like, "Baton Rouge, man. This shark ate its owner."
Yeah, and then fucking Carter is like, dude, they bite either because they think you're a fat seal, or a rich suit.
And looked at him, and then Russell's like, "Oh shit, so it's gonna be this way." And that's when he's like to Janice. Her name's Janice.
Mhm.
Jan. He's like, "Whoa, man, tough crowd here," or whatever.
She's like, you got full sentences. He usually just grunts and moans. That means he likes you. But I haven't watched Jaws in forever. But apparently when Carter pulled the license plate off of the tiger shark,
Mhm.
it's a homage to Jaws, because apparently there was another tiger carcass that they
Really?
found, and they pulled a license plate that was exactly the same
Oh, that's sick.
out of the...
I didn't
the
realize
shark in
that. I
Jaws.
didn't put two and two together.
Mhm.
Oh, that's cool. We also see Scoggins there too. He's he's setting up everything, and Carter even he walks over to him and like, "Hey," and they're talking, bullshitting, and he ends up asking how tall the fences are because that shark escaped. He's like, "Hey man, how tall these fences get?" And the guy's like, "Well, give or take 8 feet."
Yeah, and then you also learn, like in this first scene, that they have 3 sharks in total that they enhance. 2 of them are first generation, and 1 of them is a second generation, and they're all
Yeah.
female sharks, which was kind of interesting. I don't know but if there was something in specific.
And these sharks they only eat other sharks now.
Yeah, and they were saying that they taste sharks in a separate section of the facility. And then you see all the crew leaving the facility. They say that they operate on a skeleton crew over the weekend. And another thing here, so there's a cameo done by the director, Harlan. He played one of the workers that was loading onto the boat, leaving for the weekend.
Yeah. And this is cute. This is kind of funny. This is our story, but the song that plays when the crew's leaving,
Which, I don't remember.
that Brenda puts on the radio,
Oh.
she starts dancing all weird. I don't know. Movie dancing's kind of weird. You ever see that? but what is it? It's sunshine or whatever. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. Well, if you remember Jennifer's Body, the emo guy,
Yeah.
he was singing that punk version of that.
Uh.
I don't know, just nerdy thing. Our origins. I'm just saying, I'm just talking our stories, but whatever, it's cool. She clearly doesn't remember.
I forgot.
Huh.
Oh.
What happens next?
Janice is giving Russell a tour of the facility. She starts taking him downstairs, and she tells
Well, they
him...
break it down the levels, too. She tells her what the levels look like, right?
Yeah, so she says that, living there is like living in space. You don't get very many chances for mistakes. And then I like that she's showing him like some doors. She's like, these are like titanium. You paid for them. And I was like, oh, shit. She says level 1 is the living quarters. Level 2 is wet lab and workshops. And then level 3 is engineering and re-entry quarters.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see Dr. Susan. She has it was really old school with a floppy disk with Aquatica. And it's showing like a replica of the shark. She's playing, I don't know, she's fucking practicing what she's going to do with the sharks to pull samples from the brains.
Well, yeah, to get the brain juice or whatever.
Yeah.
The stem cell.
And then again, you kind of see like Russell and Carter bumping heads a little bit. and Carter's just being really short with everything that
Well,
Russell is
so
asking
Russell's
him.
trying to like get in with him, like to really know what's going on. He's like trying to be friendly. He's like, "Oh, dude, deep diving or whatever."
Yeah.
He's like, "I've done that. Have you done it? It's a good hobby or whatever." And the guy's like, yeah, I guess." Like that's when Carter's still standoffish.
Yeah. And then he says, "I'm not here to change the world or wreck it either. I'm
Yeah.
just your fish guy."
And he does. And later he's gonna regret it, but he put his head down and didn't say shit. He knew weird shit was happening.
Yeah.
With genetically engineered sharks.
And then you meet Preacher, LL Cool J, with a little cute, adorable parrot.
Which you had a parrot back in the day, right?
I had a couple of them.
Dang, what happened to them?
They died.
Well, you pet them a little too hard.
No. I think one of them might have flown away. They like to be in the wild. Where I grew up, it was like kind of jungly a little bit and very tropical rainforests.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot of nests of parakeets within the area, which
Oh, shit.
I don't know that I should be saying this because it's illegal in Mexico.
Go ahead. I mean, it's been, 20 plus years?
Well, they're still doing it. It's illegal to go and grab tropical birds, from what I last heard from the nests. But people were still doing them. They'll go and grab tropical birds from their nest and then sell them like all over the place.
Dang, you contributed to that? That's fucked up.
I didn't pay for it. It was a gift. I didn't ask for it. They were just like, "Here you go. You got a pet."
Well, it's adorable. We might have to put that on Instagram. You with a bird on your shoulder.
I had like 2 or 3 parakeets, and I had a macaw at one point.
Mm-hmm. Because you got the picture of the macaw, don't you?
Yeah, when she used to scare everybody in. She was
Charger
a
grandma.
character. She was a character, and then the parakeets, they just repeat everything you say.
Yeah, I love it.
They would just chill on my shoulder, just eat guavas.
Nice, dude.
Adorable. But yeah, the parrot's yelling at Preacher. He's like, "Eat me, asshole."
Yeah, eat my ass, bitch. Fat butt.
Yeah, he keeps calling him fat butt. These
Hilarious.
are pretty aggressive, little insulting little birds.
Yeah. And then, so you introduce, everybody's kind of getting settled in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Preacher's doing his thing. And then you see everybody get together in the lab area.
Mm-hmm.
And you see how grand the lab area is. This is the first time Russell's seeing it. And it's pretty impressive looking, right?
I'd say, yeah.
And at this point, they're gearing up to do the test. And they all know this is a big deal. So how do you feel? Like, I feel like the pacing's right. It feels pretty good paced. But is this throughout the weekend? Because by the time at the end of the movie, I'm giving it up ahead of time, but a boat comes in.
So the weekend's over?
Yeah, so it went all weekend. So I'm assuming Friday happened, they got there, and then this is Saturday.
Yeah, they didn't make a clear distinction between the days.
And
It
I
just
think for good
rolled.
reason, because you're underwater, you don't see the day really. But I'm thinking this is Saturday and the storm's in.
Yeah, so Carter is the one in charge of going outside and reeling in the sharks.
Yeah, what was he doing? Because he didn't reel in the shark this time. He goes out in the cage and then he sees that tiger shark chilling, swimming, and then all of a sudden he sees the two sharks rip it apart and eat it.
Yeah.
So what, was he just witnessing that? Because he wasn't there to catch anybody.
Or yeah, no, maybe not Tassie. Maybe I don't know. Maybe he was just doing rounds and checking on the sharks. I don't know, because it was just him down there.
That's what I was confused. He didn't do anything though.
And he
so
didn't say. Well, he doesn't see anything. He said something later.
Well, I don't think they want Russell to know what's going on with that,
Yeah.
like feeding sharks to sharks.
Well, I think it's coming, and then they call Dr. McAllister to the surface. There's like red flares, and she goes up there and she's thinking something bad's gonna happen,
Mm-hmm.
or that there's a surprise. And apparently it's her birthday, so they throw her a surprise birthday party.
Yeah, they're like, surprise!
And
they're
then
partying and more movie dancing. It was a little
more
awkward.
movie dancing. You see Russell meet Preacher, which was a pretty funny interaction.
Yeah, what's he say?
Preacher knows who Russell is, and he's like, "Hey, you and your dad are the ones that got caught in an avalanche and almost died, right?" He's like, "Yeah."
Well, before that, though.
Oh, Franklin says that his food's really good.
Yeah, he's like, oh, nice cooking, brother.
Yeah.
Trying to bond with him. And then he's like, oh, you're the avalanche guy, right?
He's like, yeah.
He's like, man, there's already enough ways for a black man to die. He doesn't need to go up in the snow.
Yeah, he's like, besides climbing a mountain, he's like, you need to leave that to the white man, brother.
Yeah, brother. I love that. That was hilarious. And then Sam, he's like, damn, man, I can't get a reprieve anywhere.
No,
Everybody hates me.
everywhere shitting on him.
Dude, which every place I've ever worked, man, the boss is always hated. I'm hated at my work. It's just what it is. Yeah, have you ever had that? Just being in management? Like,
Yes.
have you ever seen that? It's like, dude, I bet like at the when you
my
were going to
job.
school, the chicken place, what's the
Zell's.
yeah, Zell's, dude. Did you ever have that?
Well,
I know you had it at the hotel.
Oh, at the hotel was bad. No, I feel like people were pretty good. At times they would get mad at me at times, but I was like, dude, you had a problem. Let's talk it out.
But that's the vibe I got with Russell was that shit was like, dude, everybody's shitting on him just because he is a little bit more up the food chain.
Well, my job now, auditing, like places you walk in and they're like, oh, here comes the auditors. And I'm like, well, I'm just checking, man.
Dude, what about a story? I don't know if you want to share it or not. At the hotel you gave me, it was hilarious. Like you were young and you were running the hotels and then you had an older lady just pissed at you, but you were helping her.
Oh, I helped her for a lot of like personal stuff.
Yes.
Like
this is hilarious.
She didn't speak very good English. She freaking made me cry. I was so mad at her.
I know. But then she called you racist, didn't she?
Yeah, the fucking nerve. I would help her with like forms and like interpreting and doing all these things that were not work related because I was being nice to her. And I felt for her because I was like, dude, yeah, I got you. Like,
yeah. Mexicans looking out for Mexicans.
Yeah, like during lunchtime, like, yeah, sure, we'll fill out your paper that you need for your doctor or whatever.
Yeah.
And then she was older, she wore glasses. I think this was the problem, is she would take off her glasses to clean the rooms. Oh. So she would leave little hair and like little things behind.
And you were getting on her.
Well, when it was a 122 room hotel.
Yeah, that's
if
a
you
lot.
have to clean after everybody when they're missing stuff behind, it's a lot. And then you had to do all your responsibilities. So I was like, yo, this and this is happening. And she's like, I feel like you're picking on me. And I was like, no, I'm not picking on you. Like everybody who's doing it, I'm just like letting you know nicely to just double check. And she's like, well, I think you're just discriminating and you're racist because of the color of my blood in my skin. I was like, the fuck you said to me?
You're a self-hating Mexican.
I turned around and I was like, all right, I'm done being nice to you. Fuck off.
Dang, that's hilarious. Bro, the color of my skin and blood.
I was like, ma'am, we come from the same country. Oh, we both speak the same language.
And I've helped you so many fucking times.
And the other
people have short, I know that about people. They just have short-term memory. It's like, what did you do for me right now?
Yeah, and then she turned around and she was like, I don't know, this thing, like, like, it just blew my mind. Again, just the mentality of some people. She was like, well, telling other coworkers that I was friends with outside of the hotel. Of course, it came back to me.
Yeah.
Maybe if she was white, I would listen to her, but she's a Latina, so I'm not going to listen to her.
Weird. That's even weirder.
I'm your manager. It doesn't care. It doesn't matter.
If you're white,
it's not her country. Yeah, because it wasn't my country.
That's fucking weird.
I was like, yeah, so I feel like we let a few days to kind of settle the dirt, and then she came around one time and she noticed that I wasn't going out of my way to make like personal conversation. It was all work related.
Yeah.
And she's like, are you mad at me? I was like, no, I'm just busy doing my job. And I walked away. And she was like, oh, okay. I was like, you want to be friends? We don't have to be friends.
Dang. So that's kind of the vibe I'm getting with Russell in this movie. Like, they're not as extreme, but they're giving like the, hey, fuck you. We know you're the head of this shit. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Which Russell takes it great, man. He's like, yeah, what it is.
Mm-hmm.
He's still trying to get to the bottom of it. So they have their little party. And then this is where you see a storm's rolling in, because later Brenda's like, whoa, hey guys, just a heads up. This is what's going on.
Well, yeah. And then you also see during the party, Carter kind of goes up to Dr. Susan and tells her the rundown of what's going on with those two sharks. He's like, hey, just so you know.
Well, first she's like, going
yeah,
down.
He's like, oh, and then she's kind of flirting with him because she's like,
also he's like, hey, that shark that got away was going after humans deliberately. He's like, I think we prematurely, like, they did something prematurely.
Yeah, he's like, it attacked it's saying that it attacked, a boat. He's like, they're attacking in packs and they're attacking other sharks. He's like, maybe that shark was brought ahead of schedule. Maybe it's a bad idea.
Yeah. And she's like, no. And she's like, hey, man, do you like your job? And then Carter's like, you threatening me?
Yeah.
And she's like, no, the truth is that's why he's here. Russell's here. He's going to shut us down if we don't give him some.
If they don't go through and get results. So they went
getting
out of
the results.
test.
Yeah.
And he's like, I won't tell him, but not because of this, but because I'm just a fish keeper. Like, that's not his position, essentially.
A fish wrangler. And then she is flirting with him, like you were saying. It's like, she's like, are you going to have that beer with me? And she's like, no, it's strictly business, with a smirk on her face. And he's like, maybe one day. And she's like, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe one day you'll take up your beer offer.
Which I don't know why I hate this chick.
I don't know. Just have a vendetta against her.
But so now they're in the actual lab. Everybody's there. They're getting geared up.
Well, before they go down there, I think Scoggins,
yeah.
He's a little bit concerned too. He asks about how Susan is doing to Carter. And then Carter also makes another he's like, hey, did you raise the fence like I asked you? And he's like, yeah, I did it. And
who are you going to trust, man? Come on.
Yeah, and he's like, well, I hope Dr. Susan is not as dumb as she seems.
Right.
And then, they go down. It's the next day, and you start seeing...
Yeah, Scoggins on the computer, the marine biologist, she's doing something. Dr. Whitlock, he's getting ready. And now they got everything going, but now they all hover around the monitor, and it's Carter's job to go down there and capture one of these sharks.
Yeah, and then all at the same time, there's a storm rolling in.
Yeah, and it shows that it's pretty aggressive up top. But down below, it's not bad, obviously. It's just a little murky, which I think they say that's to their benefit. The sharks can't really see as good.
Okay.
So they go down there, and then these sharks are nowhere to be found. And he's looking, and it's weird. All of a sudden, the power shuts off, and they like hit the cage really hard. He's like, holy shit. He's freaked out. They lose contact for him, and they're like, hey, Carter, and nothing. And they're like, dude, quit fucking messing with us, bro. And he's quiet, and he, with the power off, I don't know, would you do this? He opens the gate and goes out there.
Well, before he opens the gate and before the cameras all went out, because the thing with the cameras, you can
the sharks are deliberately...
yeah.
And wouldn't everybody be like, whoa, that's fucking weird. Carter, get in here.
And even Russell makes a comment, because when they're like bumping into the cage where Carter is swimming, he puts up the gun and then the sharks swim away.
Yeah, he's like, whoa, are the sharks really reacting to the gun?
Yeah, and Russell was like, did I just see what I think I did? He's like, they recognize the gun.
Yeah, that's right.
And he was like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah. And so lights are out, cameras are out, Carter's not responding, and he's still out there. Yeah, and he opens the gate and gets out. And
he sets up a trap, because then the shark thinks it sees Carter because he has the flashlight on in the tanks, and the shark attacks the tanks, and then all of a sudden Carter's behind it, shoots that shark, and then he has his little mini breathable like tank, and then he ends up getting the shark up to the platform, because they're like, oh, the platform's engaged, he's got him. And then it raises up, and the shark, and this is where you're saying the mechanical shark, it had the gills moving and everything. Yeah. It was doing that in this scene, which I thought was pretty cool.
It was pretty cool. I would have liked to see that in person.
I know, that thing was awesome. So everybody's stoked. It's business as usual. They're getting to it. They do a scan.
Yeah.
Of like a cool 90s fucking computer scan of the shark.
Yeah, they said it's to transfer exotics to the remote terminals, whatever that scientific language means. I was like, what are exotics?
Yeah, and then they test it, and then she's getting down there, McAllister, and all of a sudden, when she goes to do the shot, or like to put the clamps down on the shark, it moves, and then Carter's like, oh man, bad dream, nightmare. And then he's Freddy, like, she's sleeping like a baby. And then he looked at the gills, and that's when they were kind of flapping. And he's keeping the shark comfortable, putting water on her. doing that thing. While McAllister takes that huge needle into the brain, starts going in and sucks I believe it's the brainstem
Yeah.
fluid out, and then puts it in a little sample. And everybody's stoked. It's a little like nervous. Hands it to the doctor. He fills up the vial and then gives the vial back to McAllister, who then I assume they run tests, right?
Yeah, they said they have a piece of a patient's brain, Alzheimer's patient's
that's
brain,
right.
in a microscope.
That's right. And that's when you see, she's like, now, when you're looking at it, this is what's going to happen. And all of a sudden they see a rapid like change in the brain.
The neutrons are firing. She said the protein was going to have interact with the neutrons, and if it worked, they were going to see the brain light up.
And it did.
And they're like 6.560 seconds.
So I have another thing too we didn't bring up. Dr. Whitlock, he's trying to light up a smoke too. And then that's when Jan gives him a weird look like, what the fuck? And then he puts the cigarette down before they start the test.
Which,
you're in a lab, dude. Like, why are you smoking? I know it's 1999, but again, you're in a fucking lab. Why the hell are you
controlled environment?
Yeah, it's supposed to be sterile and clean, and you got this dumbass fucking trying to light up. Like,
maybe
this doctor sucks.
Maybe he wasn't so brilliant like Janice was saying. She just had love eyes on.
Yeah.
Love goggles.
He was peeing in the wind, too, man. That's stupid. But yeah, he's celebrating. They're all celebrating, and he lights up a cigarette again. He actually lights it up. He's like, well, he leans down to the shark. He's like, we did it, old buddy, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the shark freaks out, wakes up, and grabs that cigarette and arm out of Dr. Whitlock, rips it off him. I thought that was a pretty cool scene.
I guess. Maybe the shark doesn't like smoking. He didn't want to get secondhand cancer.
I guess. But no, yeah. So the shark, I think that was the shark's plan all along. I feel like.
Stupid.
Yeah, ripped his arm off. Which brings me to my next thing. I kind of brought this up before you shut me down though you said save it for the pod. But dude, so they're trying to medvac this guy out like helicopter, and they're calling it and they're rushing him up, right? I don't care if you're a skeleton crew or not. The medical facility like this, you're going to have actual medical emergency like people there. No matter what, they're going to be there to perform this for cases like this, because you're in a place where storms happen. They might not be able to get to fly you out like you need right away. You're going to have medical staff on board that are capable. These guys are doctors, but they're not doctors in that field. So that's my argument is it's kind of, I get it. Like it's convenience for the story to move on and make the story kind of progress. But at the same time, it's like, that's kind of a big one. You could at least maybe had the doctor get his arm ripped off or something, like the actual like medical staff.
Oh, to call someone in.
Yeah, exactly. That's just kind of my opinion on it, where some of the stuff's a little bit cheesy, where it's like, I don't know.
It's just to help with the story.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Do you? Do you want to contribute a little bit or no? Do you have anything?
No. The one thing that I noticed is, I don't know, it was quick. It seems like they just kind of wrap him up in something until the...
Well, yeah, you want to stop the bleeding.
No, I know, but like I figured that they would have at least had a lot more medical equipment with them. I don't know.
Well, with handling the dangerous things that they are, sharks, like, I know... Like sharks, yeah, they're out of water, it's contained, but at the same time, you gotta like anticipate all this shit. The worst case scenarios, dude. Like the medical equipment you're using, like you would have some pretty hardcore first aid down there.
I mean, I see what you're saying. They do have a little bed that they roll him out eventually, but I agree. At least some sort of like medical staff on site at all times in case shit goes on.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, anyways, they're rushing him. They're like, we got to get him out of here. And they have Brenda call in, I guess, what do you call in Mexico, the emergency?
I don't know. Were they in Mexico?
Yeah, because they're speaking Spanish.
I don't know. They called someone.
Yeah, I don't know. It was like the air, I don't know. Maybe the Mexican military.
It was not the Mexican military, Richard.
Um,
So stupid.
but anyways, they're flying in and the storm's pretty bad. They get out there and all of a sudden the waves and stuff are crashing hard and everybody's a little freaked out, but they roll them out there and they hook him up to the helicopter because they eventually lower the hook to lift him up.
Which apparently this scene was an accident it was an accident that happened on set and it was left in the movie.
The accident.
When they're loading him up into the helicopter and everything, they left like 3 tons of water get thrown at the actors. And that's what swept them inside the facility again. It wasn't
nice.
supposed to happen that fast and that much water, but it did. But they like kind of held it together and then they went back to acting. So they're like, all right, just keep it rolling. And they just kind of kept it in there.
Well, that's cool. So yeah, they end up hooking him up and they're like, pull him up. And they get back in the elevator. And I don't think they actually see him land in the water, do they? I think it's just Brenda.
Yeah, it's just Brenda this season.
Because the helicopter's reeling them up, and then all of a sudden, miraculously, and I don't know if the sharks planned for this. They'd be very impressive if they just. There's a little bit of luck involved here, but the
line,
the pulley system freezes up, starts to smoke, and then all of a sudden, luck has it, it starts reversing, and now he lands into the water. Dr. Whitlock does. On his little gurney, and he's like, oh my God. And he's in the water. I'm like, hell yeah, this is fucking dope. This dude deserves it. I hated this guy from the start. I'm like, this smug, arrogant son of a bitch. I hope they eat you up, bro. But anyways, he's under the water, and Brenda's like, pull up, you idiots, pull up. And I don't think they do it in time because then it's like a fishing reel and the sharks grab it and then pull it, and then they end up pulling the helicopter towards the building, and then all of a sudden that line is ripping through the platform, and then the helicopter just boom crashes into the building, explodes, and then Brenda dies. You assume, you don't see, you just see her kind of get blown back. But she ends up dying because you never see her again. And then you see the whole facility down below shake, and that's when LL Cool J, he falls down. He's like, whoa, what the hell? And a bottle lands on the floor. He's like, I'm going to take that as a sign, and starts drinking it. And then the rest of the crew are like, whoa, what the fuck was that? They don't know yet, and they're trying to holler at Brenda like, hey, what's going on up there? No response, so they don't know what's actually going on, right?
Yeah.
And they get back to the lab, and they're looking at the cameras?
And they're looking at the screen that they have that they're looking directly through the glass, and they're trying to get a hold of Brenda. And
and then Russell was like, will someone tell me what that is? And it was Dr. Whitlock, but it's kind of cool. You see the gurney going, all of a sudden they do a close up, his head's shaking, and he's like, blah, 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 blah. And he's going towards the window. All of a sudden, the shark, you see the shark behind it. The gurney is in his mouth, and all of a sudden, the shark tosses it to the glass.
Here's your doctor.
And breaks the window.
Which, what the hell? That's all it took to break the glass?
I thought for sure his face hit the glass first, but it doesn't. It's the corner of the gurney that does it, which I'm calling bullshit on that. But again, you got to suspend reality in order for this movie to kind of work. But that being said, it was cracking and spiderwebbing, and they just stood there.
Yeah, watching it happen.
Staring Dr. Whitlock in the eyes. I'm like, dude, serve your ass. I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Was like all teary-eyed, and Russell was like, dude, you can't save him. Let's roll out of here.
Well, he's like, all right, guys, let's get out of here. And they still take forever to get to the stairs. And they start ringing up, and that's when the water breaks the glass, and it gets flooded pretty quickly. Carter doesn't make it up the stairs initially. He gets thrown off, but he ends up doing something and then climbs back up, right?
I don't remember that.
I think he did something. Oh, and that was another thing. Before the shark got released back, after that, the arm bite, Carter tries to go shoot it with a shotgun. And that stupid Dr. McAllister is so into the work that she's like, no, don't shoot the shark, and fucks it all up, dude. That was their chance to knock one of the three out.
Yeah, she runs and pushes the button to release the platform and lets the shark back out.
Yeah, and Carter's like, you fucking dipshit. What is your problem? But anyways, now we're back to this, where the water's flooding. They end up getting through the door, right?
Maybe.
Yes, they end up getting through the door, but what happens next?
I don't know. I'm on the preacher. Preacher, he's calling Brenda because he doesn't know what's going on. He's isolated to the kitchen.
It's kind of going back and forth. So yeah, preacher's he's in the kitchen.
All he hears is rumbling.
Yeah, he's like, what the hell? And he's getting no answer from Brenda. Obviously, she's been blown away.
And one thing I was like, here we go again. The working class on the freaking isolated level.
I know,
no
you're
information. Pissed. And preacher's like, God, sorry about the drinking, and drops the bottle. Like, maybe this is why it's happening.
Yeah.
No, but Carter's, and then they have back and forth. Carter's reading a map, trying to figure out how to escape out of there. Preacher's doing his own thing on his own. He's like going along a hallway, going upstairs.
Yeah, he's gonna walk up to the top, and the bird's on his shoulder, and then
the bird flies away. I was like, this is a sign. Follow the bird.
Yeah, follow the bird. They know what's up. And he starts walking up the stairs, and then all of a sudden, the water starts rushing in and sweeps him off his feet and just sends him down the hallway.
Oh yeah, and then he turns around. Oh yeah, it sweeps him down. And then you see the group of everybody in a different level walking around. And then they get to a door that they're trying to open. And then you see the bolts just like popping off from the door.
Well, it's pounding. And they're like, is that what I think it is?
Yeah. And then they run. And then outside, they give you a quick shot of outside. And like entire upstairs, the surface is on fire.
Yeah.
From the crash. And you see the sharks are coming in through any holes that are being opened in the facility.
Yeah.
And then Preacher's, again, kind of lost on his own, calling out for his bird.
Yeah, he's like, bird.
And then you hear,
bird.
Fat butt.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden behind him, he sees the shark. He's like, oh, fuck. And then he tries to run through, and then he does get in the kitchen. So this scene, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but this reminds me awful like Jurassic Park with the raptors and the kids when they're in the kitchen and they're hiding and the raptors figure out the door.
Oh, how to open the door.
Yeah, it reminds me of that because then it's all calm and it's not as suspenseful. I think it took some influence from that is what I'm saying, because it's in the kitchen, it's suspenseful. He gets up top, and then all of a sudden the bird, still being an asshole, calling him a fat butt, eat my ass.
He's just trying to save the bird.
And he's on the land, and the bird's on a pan floating, and he's like, bird, come here, look at my face, look at my smile.
I felt like that would be Viana with the cat. Like, we'll be dying, and she's like, I need to go get my cat.
Yeah. Wellesley would be like, fuck you. But then when he reaches for it, then the shark comes up, boom, and there goes the bird. Bird gets eaten, and then LL Cool J, Preacher, he ends up falling backwards with the, what do you call that? The shelf?
Yeah.
It ends up landing on him.
I mean, you go back to the group of people, and here's Russell. He's pissed, and at this point, he can kind of start seeing clear, like.
Well, he's like, can sharks do that?
Who he needs to talk to, so he switches to Carter.
Yeah, but because we didn't hit on it as much. That door, when it's bursting.
Well, they talk about it here.
It's pounding. Scene. They're like, what is that? And whatever. Yeah, and then he's like, do sharks do that? They can do that? He's like, well, this shark's huge. You know, it weighs this much. It's this long. I assume it's going to have 2 tons of pressure or whatever, and it's going to be able to get through wherever it wants to get through. Although I'm calling bullshit on those doors. Like, a facility like that is going to be so like secured, especially areas that need to be sealed off in emergencies. Nothing's getting through there. That shark, I'm sorry, is not going to be able to burst through that door. That's not happening. Yeah.
And then essentially, Carter agrees. Yes, that was a shark bumping into the door. And then he turns to Susan and he's like, bitch.
Well, they don't know. He's like, that's the riddle. I don't know what the shark wants.
Well,
like, what is it coming after us?
Yeah. And then so he turns to Susan and he makes her confirm, like, hey, The shark is not breaking the doors just because, right? It's after people.
He's getting the answer he kind of knew all along. They were doing illegal stuff, which coincidentally they call it the Harvard pack or whatever, not to genetically modify things. That's not real.
The ethical code that they're referencing.
The Harvard code. Yeah, I think I have it here. Yes. So the Harvard Compact. The Harvard Compact mentioned in the movie Deep Blue Sea is not real. Document or agreement. It's a fictional plot device created for the film to add a layer of scientific ethics and protocol that Dr. Susan McAllister and her team violate by genetically modifying the sharks. So just that. I looked up. I was curious. Yeah.
And then Carter was like, you know what? He's like, ask Dr. Susan. She's the expert. Like, he doesn't want to 100% confirm all of his, like, suspicions at the moment.
Well, he doesn't admit it, but he's like, dude, some fucked up shit's going on. This is what's happening. But he knows, but he didn't want to completely divulge
openly say it.
Yeah. And that's when she's like, well, the brains weren't big enough
to harvest the hormones, so they enlarged the brains to take on the research, and as a result, the sharks got smarter. And Janice was pissed too, because it was her and the doctor
she's
that
like,
died.
You fucking bitch. Yeah.
I don't know if she said it that way.
Yeah, she did. She's like, you fucking bitch.
She's like, but listen, with the research, like, they're gonna erase this degenerative disease.
Yeah, think about how many lives are going to be saved. And that's when Janice and them are like, well, what about Jim? What about so-and-so?
Yeah, and Carter is pissed. He's like, dude,
Brenda.
We're going to blow this thing up. And he's like, dude, like, to Dr. Susan, he's like, you've been using me all along with the flirting back and forth.
Yeah.
To get him to do what she wanted without, like...
Well, and she...
calling him out on her ethics.
No, not the flirting, because it was more of and they don't specify why he was in jail, but he served time, because him and Russell made that comment too. He's like, you served time? Yeah, blah, blah, blah. I did too. And he got off his parole or whatever and came here. So he's just not trying to make waves. He's just trying to do his job. That's why he's trying to lay low and doesn't say anything. And that's why he said, oh, you're just using me, because it's implying that he wasn't going to say anything with what they were doing, because he wanted to keep his job and didn't want to go like back to prison or anything.
Okay. I missed all of that.
Nice.
The prison.
Nice. Well, they don't touch on it hard. It's easily to miss, but he makes the comment a couple times that he did some time and he likes the water better than society.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it 4 times. Sorry.
I didn't watch it 4 times either. What the fuck?
I'm kidding.
Oh my God.
I walked in and you were like, you ate my bird. No, but again, she's trying to defend her stance. She's like, what about the people we will save? And they're like, no, dude.
Yeah, what about Jim? What about Brenda?
And then they're like, dude, essentially you screw with the sharks. Now the sharks are going to screw with us. And then, yeah, it goes back to the
preacher. And he sees the shark. It's coming after him hard. And he ends up jumping into the
oven.
And he's like, oh, shit.
And it's like one of those 2-level
And the shark's just hitting the thing and then accidentally turns on the oven.
The gas.
And he's like, oh, hell no, man. And he makes a reference to the Bible, like David or whatever.
Yeah.
Versus the lion. He's like, this isn't it. He's like, I know this is ironic. A shut down by his own oven. He's like, not today. I got plans. And then he has the axe and he's hitting the top of it.
Yeah. And I don't know. He opens a hole and he like climbs up. And right as he makes it up to the second level of the oven, the shark breaks through the glass door on the front on the bottom oven.
Yeah. And he dives out. And then the shark turns around. And this is where the famous quote, you ate my bird, and throws the lighter at it, because the place miraculously filled up with gas that fast and blows the shark up.
He killed the first fucking
he did.
Smart shark.
He's a badass.
I was not expecting that. I was like, oh, snap. All right.
I know. I was pretty happy to see
preacher.
That he's just a cook down there. He doesn't know what the fuck's going on, and he ends up
killing the first.
Yeah, just killing
shark,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, and then what happens next?
And then they're like at another level. There's like a pod that they have there, and Russell is like, dude, we have to use a wetsuit for hypothermia. I think they're trying to swim out of there. And Scoggins is like, I'm not getting into the pool. He's like, but there's like a maintenance storage that we can use. But again, like at this point, they don't know what the surface looks like.
Well, their plan is they're going to use the sub, but the problem is the sub got fucked up by the sharks. And that's when Scoggins is like, dude, because Russell's like, did something like the bomb or whatever went off? Is that what did that? He's like, no, nothing in here would have knocked this loose. It's fucked up. And then they make the plan, and then Janice is like, well, how about we dive down there and swim to the top and see who makes it? And she's like, well, Dr. McAllister can go first because that's the old aquatical way, right? Dive in head first.
He's pissed.
Yeah. And then she's like, you were my best friend. McAllister did. She says something like that. But that being said, Russell's like, you know what? Maybe that is our fighting chance. And he's like, it's murky in here. Let's do it. And he's like, we've got these swimsuits or whatever. What are they?
Wetsuits?
Yeah, wetsuits. That's going to fight off the hypothermia. If we go down there, we'll just swim to the top and get out of here. That might be our only chance. And then that's when Scoggins is like, fuck that. I'm not getting in there. That's where the sharks are. Fuck you. We're not doing this. And then he's like, there's a shaft, man, up here. It's an old maintenance shaft. We can get up through the top there. And then Carter's like, well, I'm sensing a butt. And he's like, well, we don't know what it looks like up top. And then if there's any breach, it's once we open this door, it's going to fuck up this lab area or whatever. And the water's going to come in rushing in. And she's like, I don't know what we're going to do at that point. And then he's like, fuck it, I'm just going to go. And then the lady's like, no, he's like, you're not my boss. You're not my boss.
I would have said the same thing.
But then this is where Russell has his epic thing. I wrote it down.
What did he say?
He's like, quiet, enough of this, enough. And then what he says is, you think water moves fast? You should see ice. It moves like it has a mind, like it knows it killed the world once and got a taste for murder. After the avalanche, it took us 2 weeks to climb out. Now, I don't know exactly when we turned on each other, but I know 7 of us survived the slide and only 5 of us made it out. Now, we took an oath that I'm breaking now. We said we'd say it was the snow that killed the other 2, but it wasn't. Nature's lethal, but it doesn't hold a candle to man.
And then
it goes on. He's like, our first plan, our first attempt. And then boom, the shark sucks him down. Now, this scene, I know for a fact, it caught me off guard when I first seen this movie because I'm like, oh shit, the star of the movie's gone. How'd you feel about it? Because you did have a surprise.
Not expecting him to go that quick.
You're not very vocal during movies, but you even made it vocal. You're like, oh fuck. You're like, damn. You weren't expecting Samuel Jackson to get eaten.
Not right away. Not during his long fucking
that pep talk,
motivational speech, and immediately
I was even motivated. I was like, "Oh shit!" And then
gotta turn my life around.
And yeah, he gets ripped down. I thought this was a cool scene because a lot of people think the CGI is cheesy. I thought this was good. It sucks him down, and then all of a sudden he's in the water in the shark's mouth, and the other shark grabs the top of him and rips him apart.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty fucking sweet. So they're freaking out.
So yeah, no, they
and they're like, yeah, that hatch looks pretty good.
One thing that I found here was originally they wanted Samuel Jackson to play the character of Preacher.
Yeah.
And he didn't want it. Like, his managers said that they didn't want him to just be a cook in the movie.
Yeah.
So the director wrote this role for him.
And I thought this was great.
They're like, by the way, you're going to die. He's like, that's cool.
He liked it. He's like, dude, no. And dude, I agree. This is by far a more interesting part. And I think LL Cool J in that part was perfect too. Yeah. Like, I think they got it right by doing that. So yeah, he's gone. They make it the plan to go up there, and sure as shit, when they open the door, the pressure gets fucked up and the water starts rushing out the top or out of that hole where the sharks came through,
Mhm.
and they end up having to shut it, but they do get it shut, but that shaft starts filling up, and they're underwater, and obviously the door's not gonna
Close.
hold because it's already shown the sharks have busted through 2 doors already. So they start climbing up the shaft. Carter and Scoggins are the last to make it on the ladders. They get up there, but then Carter's like, dude, I'm going to have to open that elevator door to the second level. And that's going to buy us some time because it's going to level out the water and make it slow it down a little bit. And then by this time, when he gets down there, he sees the door burst open and that big ass shark circling the shaft. I thought that was pretty cool, and that'd be pretty scary.
I'm gonna shit myself.
Yeah, and he's trying to open it, dude, and the water. And this is kind of suspenseful too. Like, you can feel the pressure and the anxiety, or at least I could, with the water building up.
Yeah, but he's like the superhero that we all need in our lives.
Yeah, Billy Badass.
He fucking opens the door.
Well, he puts the
knife in there. And
his crocodile Dundee knife in there. It breaks, and then he uses his super biceps to open up the fucking door, and he makes it, and water comes rushing out. But then he ends up getting on the ladder.
Yeah, so he starts climbing up the stairs again, the ladder.
Yeah.
And then you see, like, at the same time, you can see fragments from the fire and the surface just kind of falling down, all the debris.
Yeah.
And then there's, like, all this rumbling from the pressure, from the water, from the fire. And part of the stairs come off from the building.
The bolts, because I assume the heat from up top, because there's fire just going. I think the heat kind of melted the bolts or whatever, and then it comes falling down, and then it perfectly like sets in the middle.
Yeah, horizontally, and then Janice falls in.
Yeah, she's like, I don't want to die.
Yeah,
Carter, save me. And then he comes in monkey style. Man, their abs are like, they're they got some core strength, because I couldn't do that. He gets in there and then puts his legs up and tries to grab her, and then she gets sucked down, and then all of a sudden it shows her rising up.
As a shark.
And she's like, ah! And then they try to grab him. I thought this would have been cool if the shark like rose her up and then clamped down, and then like Carter had a hold of her and was holding half her body, and she's just staring, like convulsing. That would have been tight.
It's so fucking dark. And
I thought that would have been cool. It would have been a cool scene. And then the shark just mowing down. What do you think Carter would have done? Would he would have let go?
Dropped her. Yeah, I mean, what do you have to save?
I think he would have grabbed it and just held tight.
I don't think so.
He's like, Jan, no,
he
not
had
you,
a crash
Jan.
on Susan, not Janice.
But anyways, that doesn't happen. The shark pulls Janice down, and she's gone. She's done for. They're kind of in a moment of peril. They're like, fuck, I don't know what we're going to do. The water stopped for a little bit because they're just sitting there.
Well, because they opened the...
Yeah. And then they see the shaft up in there. He's like, hey, Scoggins, can you reach up there? He's like, nah, it's too tall. And then all of a sudden, our boy Preacher opens the door.
To save the fucking day.
And they're like, holy shit, Preacher, what's up?
Yeah, I was like, after all, they all forgot about him, and here he comes to save them.
I know. They didn't even give two shits about him.
They didn't. They never tried to check on him and be like,
don't mention him either, though. They don't mention him at all.
They pretend he's not there. He's having his own story with this fucking bird.
Yeah, it's fucking bullshit.
It is.
So he ends up finding some cloth and lowers it down. They climb up, and they're talking about the skip. They're like, great, let's just go to the other side, and we'll go up the stairs up to the top side. And he's like, nope, can't do that. I was already over there. He's like, trust me, I was over there.
Yeah.
And there's just no way to get up there.
Yeah, and they're going around. I don't know. They're looking. They're in Janice's room at this point.
Because they come up with a plan. They're like, well, Scoggins is like, hey, man, if we can go back to where the power supply is, the generator, he's like, if I turn that on, it's going to completely drain out one of the shafts or one of the stairways.
Yeah.
And they're like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, certainly. Who are you going to trust? And
Ghostbusters.
Yeah. And then they go down there, or that's the plan. He's like, okay, we need flashlights and stuff. So then they go into one of the rooms, and it's Janice.
Yeah, they're looking for Vibers. They make a joke. Like, Like she had a
She
vibrator.
was
or
a young,
something.
healthy woman. And he's like, what do you call it? Their zzz thing
Yeah.
where would you keep it? And Preacher's like, dude, what the fuck,
I
man?
know.
Have some decency.
Um,
He's like, what? I need the batteries.
yeah. And then Dr. Susan, she's kind of reflecting on all the stupid things she's done so far.
She's worried about her fucking research.
Yeah, and she's like, but at the same time, she's like, maybe Carter was right. I couldn't have done anything without him. Like she was realizing
And
she was
he-
feeling like she was.
So,
it was
and
all
he's,
her.
and she tells him that. And she's like, hey, man, I couldn't do it without it. He's like, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Because now he's incriminated too with this. He's like, he didn't know exactly what they were doing, but he kind of knew something was up.
Mm-hmm.
So they end up finding the batteries, and then they make, I thought this was a funny one, is Preacher and Scoggins are having a conversation about relativity. Do you remember that?
Vaguely.
Yeah, like Preacher's like, relativity. And then Scoggins like, what are you talking about? He's like, Einstein's theory of relativity. Grab a hold of a hot pan. Second seems like an hour. Put your hands on a hot woman.
Oh my God.
An hour can seem like a second.
This-
It's all relative.
Stupid.
And then Scoggins is like, hey, I spent 4 years at Caltech, and that's the best physics explanation I've ever heard. He's like, hey, Preacher, will you zip me up?
Yeah, that was fucking hilarious. Putting on his wetsuit.
So a little
But
bit
the way he
little
flipped
bit
his
of
head
reprieve,
like
yeah.
he had long hair. Zip me up.
So there's a little bit of reprieve there. They're happy. So they set out to go down where they were to go flip the switch.
Meanwhile,
McAllister and Preacher. McAllister is stupid. She's like, "Hey man, I got to go to my room." And he's like, "For what?" And she's like,
the data, the research.
And he's like, "All these people died, and you're still worried about numbers. Like, that's kind of fucked up."
She's like,
"You want them to die for nothing or for something stupid?"
well,
And he's like, "It's never a good thing that people died.
yeah, and she said, without the data, it's just
It means nothing."
death. Yeah, it's just death.
And he's like, "Dude, it is death. It's fucked up." She's missing the point. She's so like wrapped up in seeing tunnel vision with the research.
And
Still,
you see Scoggins and Carter made it to the room. And then Carter goes down at first. Everything is like completely flooded.
mm-hmm.
And I don't know why this freaked him out so much. He gets down to the bottom and there's like wires hanging down and everything. And all of a sudden, Dr. Wilkins, he just kind
No,
of floats
so
in.
Carter, yeah, that's the plan. Carter's like, "I'll be right back for Scoggins. I'll be right back." And he swims down there. He wasn't expecting it, and that dead body was in his face. He's like, "Ugh."
He freaks
He goes
out.
up, and he did overact. He's like,
Yeah, he makes it out and makes it a point to scream.
And then as he's breathing, and then Scoggins comes up, he screams again. He's like, "Ah!" Then Scoggins is like, "Whoa, what the fuck? What's going on?" And I don't think he says anything. He's like, "No, nothing."
Yeah, and then you see
He's like, "I thought you were coming back for me."
yeah. Preacher finds the camera and he's like, well, if I'm gonna go down, he starts like turns it on, points it at himself, starts recording himself, and he's like, if I don't make it, this is if I didn't make it, this is my goodbye. And he's like, I try to be a good husband, a father. He's like, I like drinking. And then he ends his video with giving a recipe to a good omelet, which was fucking funny.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Yeah. And so at least he's preparing, in case he doesn't make it out, for his family to have something.
Right.
And then you go back to Scoggins and Carter. They're moving shit around. They're going in there to open the panel and turn it on.
Dude, kudos to these guys holding their breath that long.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
no way I could do that. How about you? What's the longest you could hold your breath?
Maybe 3 seconds. I don't know.
3?
I don't know. Not 3.
I don't know. I could do
not
at
minutes.
least 20, 25 seconds.
25 seconds.
But ain't no way I'm doing it for minutes like them. That was
No.
insane, dude.
Yeah, they're doing all of this submerging water, and then you see a shark come in.
Well, so he flicks the switch. That one turns off, and then he flips another switch. The other one turns green. It's on, and all of a sudden he's giving a thumbs up to Carter. He's like, "Yeah!" And all of a sudden Carter looks behind him. He's like, "No!" And warning him something's behind him. And then Scoggins turns back, and that's when the shark grabs him, rips him apart. And then you see his severed leg, and it's
kicking.
Yeah, it's like flinching. It's like its last little nerve damage, nerve death.
Sad he was gone. I thought he was making a little bit more farther
I
than
know,
this.
dude. I was like, he was one of the characters I liked.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's gone. And then we go to McAllister. She's in her office, right?
Yeah, she walks in there, and then she's kind of looking around, looking for her stuff. And she opens, it looks like a locker. And then the little shark model pops out and freaks her out. And while she's going around, one of the sharks, actual sharks, swims in there. And it's
she's like,
coming
oh,
for
fuck.
her. And she climbs on, like, she's up there climbing on furniture, tables and stuff. And then at one point, she falls into the water. And she drops her research that she put in a little bag. It looks like a little memory thing.
Yeah.
Something that she has that she's carrying around. Yeah, and then she's trying to reach in, and the shark kind of pushes it away. I'm like, no, bitch, you don't take anything with you.
Yeah. And she panics. She goes up to the top. She finds like a coffee table to stand on or whatever. So she doesn't know what to do. And then all of a sudden she gets the idea. She rips the lighting wiring off. And then she undresses, which I didn't get at first why she was doing that. I think they just wanted to see her in her bra and panties. But she stands on top of it, and it makes sense now. That way she's not getting electrocuted. And then she puts the wiring down into the water that electrocutes the shark. So she ends up killing one of the sharks.
But at the same time, you see her little research thing swimming and floating around. It's also completely burnt out.
Yeah, she's like,
so
fuck.
It was all for nothing.
Yep, and she's pissed.
Yeah, and then here comes Preacher and Carter. They find her.
Well, so a scene, Carter is back in the shaft. He climbs up. He's tired. All of a sudden, Preacher, he's putting his tape away in a Ziploc bag. And then they have a moment because he's like, oh, fuck. Preacher's like, Scoggins?
Yeah.
Ah, man. And then they kind of have a moment where they're holding the cross together. I'm like bummed out. And that's where then they're like, Carter's like, where's McAllister? And he's like, oh, she went to her room. And then he's like, fuck. And then they end up going there. Yeah. Going to meet up with her.
Yeah, they walk in there and Preacher's like, sorry to interrupt, but can we get the fuck out of here?
Yeah. And at this point, they do make it to the top, right?
Yeah. So
we're almost done. The pacing of this movie is pretty good. I like this. I mean, is it a great movie? No. But the pacing of it is awesome, man. It's adrenaline rush. I think that's what I like, the good balance of the action and the thrill, because it does keep it going.
So one of their big plans, they say that they make a mention that sharks like bright items.
Yeah.
So they're going to try to confuse them, and as they swim, they're going to shoot up. They find like
so they don't quite make it to the top yet.
No, not yet.
But they do come to the plan. That's what you're saying. He's like, well, they like bright items, blah, blah, blah. So we're going to release them and swim up with it. In theory, they should attack this and not us. And that's exactly what they do. They go up, and then lo and behold, one of the sharks, or the only shark that's left, goes after one of the tanks. Yeah. And they make it to the top. But when they get there, McAllister and Carter are good. They climb up, but then, and you were kind of bummed out at this point, Preacher, he ends up getting bit.
Yeah, because the sharks, they attack the tanks first. And yeah, they come and get Preacher, and they're dragging him around, but he takes his cross, and he's like not fucking going out without a fight. He's just stabbing it over and over and over again, and gets him in the eye.
Yeah, the eye, and the shark releases. But I'm sorry, Preacher, he would have lost his leg. It would have been severed, because I watched the shark rip people in half, but all of a sudden it showed restraint and didn't chomp through his leg.
It was his eyeball, man. He needed it to see.
I know, but it didn't instantly rip his leg off. Come on. But
it works.
Yeah, so his leg's still intact, and then all he gets is a lousy bandage on his leg, and he's passing out.
Yeah, Carter goes over and helps him, and then Dr. Susan helps patch him up. And you can see,
he's like, hey, Susan. He's like, Doc, that's the devil.
And you get a view of the entire facility is like in ruins, all burned up.
Yeah. And they're like, and then Carter's like, dude, I think I solved the riddle. He's like, they were hurting us all the time. They wanted us to get to the top here. They wanted us to do this, this, and this. He's like, they're trying to get out. He's like, son of a bitch, this fence is titanium below, but it's just regular steel up top.
Yeah.
So he's like, this is what they wanted, and we have to have a plan. They can't escape. So he ends up grabbing that little harpoon thing.
And Susan finally says, okay, you have to kill her.
Yeah.
She finally gives in and realizes that what she did was not a good idea.
Well, letting this thing out in the wild, dude,
Yeah.
it's going to wreak all sorts of havoc. Plus, it's going to spawn off other genetically enhanced sharks when it mates. But yeah, they come up with a plan, and then one of the arrows for the harpoon, they start filling it up with flare gun, like powder, the gunpowder. He's like, dude, this should be 2 sticks of dynamite, and that should be enough to blow this shark away. And so he puts that in the harpoon, and then he has it connected to like a steel wire. And he's like, this wire, if you connect it to this battery, it's going to explode. But so as soon as I get a good shot of that shark, I want you to connect this wire to the battery. And she's like, okay. And then he comes running down like a badass. He's looking like Rambo on the water. He's running, and he's got the shark in its sights. And then all of a sudden the shark lowers. He's like, fuck, the shark's too far away. I can't get it. And then the best part of the whole movie.
That's it.
It was one of my favorites. I'm like, yes.
Now,
She's
Frank.
like, she finally grows a conscience, and she's like, I know what I have to do. And she grabs the rustiest steel and then cuts her hands. If she was really cool, she would have just cut her wrists and been done.
Richard.
But she cuts her hands, and she's looking like the Messiah. And and then she's like, I know what I have to do. And Carter's like, no. And he's like, Susan, no. And then she jumps in the water. And then all of a sudden the shark's trying to escape, ramming the gate. But all of a sudden, because she's like, the shark's smart, but it's still an animal. And then it smells the blood, implying the shark's going to come back and eat her. And so the shark comes back. It's coming hard. And all of a sudden, she's freaked out. She's like, oh my God, the shark's coming. And tries to swim up, and she hits the railing, gets on the railing, but then the rail breaks off and she falls back in the water. And then the best part of the movie, the shark gets a hold of her, and unlike Preacher, it rips Susan apart. Didn't you like it? Was that your favorite part?
I did. I was satisfied by this.
I know. I'm not. Because you were like, even you made the comment. You're like, if this bitch survives, man.
I was like, oh, they killed her. Like, killed her. I thought maybe she was going to end up with a bandage over her hand, and that was going to be it.
Yeah, no, I was satisfied with that. I was like, finally, someone who actually, her and Janice and Whitlock, they all deserve to die, but her the most.
Janice didn't do anything bad.
She was annoying.
Oh my God. Anyone who's annoying in movies, Richard is like, die.
Yeah, I don't got time for you. Die.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, so it was pretty cool watching her getting chomped on and ripped apart. Carter's still in the water because he dives in there like a dumbass trying to save her. Which then he doesn't, but then what happens?
And then the shark comes for him.
Yeah.
And he does some crazy cool, like...
Oh, yeah, this is again,
water.
he again does another ninja move and does a flip and rolls off the shark, and then Preacher gets him, right?
He's like kind of riding the shark on the fin, and in Preacher, like, he overheard the entire plan. He gets up and grabs the harpoon, and... he's out there. So at the same time, I'm like, how's he going to shoot it and then hook it up to the battery and do the explosion? I thought it was going to be a 2-people job, but okay. But yeah, he preps the harpoon and...
yeah, he doesn't need 2 people. He's a LL Cool J. He's Preacher.
Like, for science! And then shoots it. And then also fucking pierces Carter. Like, it looks like it was
Carter's
right on his hip.
Carter's like, oh, no. And it's floating or whatever. And then Preacher knows what he has to do, but he's holding off for dramatic effect. And you hear Carter like, blow it, do it, blow it up now. And then all of a sudden, the shark sees the fence and it's going through, busts through. And then all of a sudden, that's when Preacher puts the battery, or the wire on the battery. You see a big explosion.
Huge explosion.
And then he's like, yes. And then he's like, oh man, my buddy's gone. But then nope. Carter's there, alive, perfectly intact. This leg would have been ripped off if the shark went through. Yeah, if the shark went through that cage, he would have been ripped off because his leg was like so
he was
hooked
attached
in.
to the fin.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Preacher is like, "Hey, Carter, bring me sushi."
Yeah, he's like, bring me some sushi. And then Carter gets up. They have an exchange. Carter's like, hey, man, a 45-foot shark, and you hit me. Nice. And Preacher's like, shit, I could have been worse. I could have let him eat your ass.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're like, what's that? And then there's a boat coming in. And he's like, oh, that's the newbies or whatever.
The next shift.
Yeah, the next shift. And they're all partying. Like, hey, what's up? Not even seeing that the whole place is just...
I know they're not concerned. They're just like, whatever. And then the Preacher was like, man, take me back to the ghetto.
Yeah, give me back to the ghetto. And he's like, hey, man, are you sure there's only 3 sharks?
Yeah.
Carter's like, I think, yeah. And then you see his legs lift up. And Preacher's like, hey, man, good call.
Just in case.
So that's that. That's the end of the movie. Pretty good. Now that we talked about it extensively, has your opinion changed?
No.
What's your thoughts?
It was still a pretty good movie.
You enjoyed it?
Pretty good original shark movie.
So dare you say you like my suggestion?
I hate it just because you suggested it.
I know. Like, what the hell? I enjoyed it.
I know you did. You memorized it.
So, what would you rank this movie?
Can I talk about some stuff first?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. I guess I got some stuff, too.
You got some stuff.
Yep.
So during the movie, you were like, wait, you said that you thought there was a different version where Dr. Susan lived and she didn't die?
Yeah.
You were trying to find it? So apparently...
Is that a real thing?
So the original ending, they showed it to like... It was changed shortly before release, like openly everywhere.
I fucking seen this. So I swear to God.
Originally, Susan was supposed to escape and live on and have some sort of romantic scene with Carter. Preacher was supposed to die early on, but they decided that he was likable and thought he was the cool guy, so they decided to keep him alive. And then they showed the movie to a test audience. Like a little of the month I saw before it was actually released, and the audience didn't like that she lived. So they went back. They did a 1-day reshoot at Universal Studios Tank, and they killed Susan. And they changed her to make Preacher the hero since everybody liked him. The idea of Russell Franklin, so Samuel Jackson's character, to die when he did was borrowed from Alien 79 from the Tom Skerritt character. Both natural leaders of respected groups, leaving survivors in utter despair.
Well, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, take out the leader of the group.
Yeah. Another thing that Harlan, the director, said that it was a really hard movie to make just because of the amount of time that they spent underwater, like the script, paperwork, everything had to be made of plastic or like hardcover.
Right.
The sharks in this movie were killed almost in the exact way that the creatures were killed in Jaws before they met their fate.
Right.
And then one little thing, I didn't see them, but apparently Harlan has a trademark, again, the director, since he's from Finland.
Mm-hmm.
I guess in Genesis' room, you can see a small Finnish flag somewhere in the corner of the room. In the kitchen, there's a shopping list. And one of the items on there was Finnish pancakes. And then there was also vodka from Finlandia vodka that was seen. So he put little things for his home country throughout the movie.
Okay.
Pretty neat.
Yeah, I liked it. So this movie, does it hold up? I think it does.
I think it does too.
I mean, even the practical effects, it gets shit for the CGI, but guys, it's 1999. It would be there's a lot worse. When you think in 1999, there'd be a lot worse. I think the shark CGI was pretty good. They didn't use it heavily. They used, I like that they used all three. They used real, mechanical, and CGI.
I think it was better than 2010 Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, exactly.
It was pretty, yes, 1999. You get what you expect. I think it was pretty seamlessly between the animatronics and
So that's the criticisms of this is the CGI quality.
Does Jaws have CGI?
No, the CGI
There's also no
quality, it's a
sharks.
common issue with films from the late 90s relied on CGI technology, which yes, there is some flaws, but also, and this is kind of my criticism on it, is the logical flaws.
Oh.
The film's plot includes several leaps in logic, particularly regarding the shark's abilities and the facility design. These elements can pull viewers out of the experience if they focus too much on the realism. So that's kind of what it, for me, you know that the realism is a big part, but honestly, it doesn't take me out of it. I actually enjoy it. I enjoy this. The ocean is scary anyways to me.
Oh, yes.
So it adds to the fear. Sharks are crazy too. So I think it just adds overall, I think it's still pretty good, even with those criticisms.
Agreed.
So your personal thing, what would you rank this?
Oh, my personal, I'll give it a 3.
You give it a 3?
Yeah.
3 out of 5?
Yep. 3 out of 5.
That's pretty good. So entertaining, but obviously it
Comedy.
could be a little bit better.
Yeah, not super scary.
Yeah. Yeah,
Natural
it has
scary.
comic relief. I think it
Yeah.
has a good balance.
It does.
What was your favorite kill?
My favorite. I didn't think about this. I forgot this segment of the.
You've got a lot to
the
pick from here,
episode.
which is pretty cool. I've got 2 that are a tie.
No, you gotta pick one.
I've got 2.
You gotta pick one.
I got 1 and 1A. So Dr. Whitlock, when he gets his arm ripped off and then thrown in the window,
Mm-hmm.
thought that was fucking awesome. Well, I got 3. LL Cool.
Oh my god!
Not LL Cool J,
no.
but Samuel Jackson.
Just fucking
That was
get in
so
here.
epic. But honestly, my favorite is McAllister. I fucking hated her so much.
Oh my god!
I'm so glad they ripped her apart. Fuck. Even Jan's fucking death was awesome.
Really? You didn't see her die. She just got stuck down underwater, and you just assumed that
I
she
know.
died.
The only one I didn't like was Scoggins. I didn't think he should have
You
died.
liked him.
Yeah.
I think my favorite has got to be Franklin's.
Oh, you like Sam
Sorry.
Jackson?
Yeah, he's giving his long
That one
deliberate
caught you
speech.
so far off guard. You're like, whoa, damn.
I thought it was gonna be like when they were underwater or like doing something, and that one he was giving a fucking.
You thought he was gonna
speech.
die. You're telling me you thought he was gonna die at some point in this
I
movie.
assumed someone was gonna die at one point.
But you assume him particularly.
Yes, I assumed Susan was gonna live.
Really?
Yeah, they always let like 'cause
When I
she was
first
the
seen
main
this,
character.
when I first seen this movie, I thought for sure Sam Jackson was gonna live.
Oh, I
It
didn't.
caught me off guard when he got eaten. I was like, oh fuck, dude, that's crazy. Nobody's safe. But no, okay. So you give it a 3. Honestly, I would probably give it a
3.5.
no. I'd give it a 3. I think
Oh,
I'd give it
really?
a 3 with you. Is it the greatest fucking piece of cinematography? No. But do I enjoy it? Fuck yeah, this is a fun watch. And I've watched this so many times, but I'll still watch it. Like, it was refreshing to watch this movie. After The Dark and the Wicked last week, we
Yeah.
needed a palate cleanser, and I think this
Something
was perfect.
fun.
You fought me. You fought me on
I
it.
didn't fight you.
You wanted to do something else,
I said wrong turn, but
which I thought would be pretty good. Maybe we do that in a couple weeks.
yes.
Hills Have Eyes would be good. But no, I'm glad we picked this. It's
No,
perfect.
I know why we picked it.
I know, Shark Week.
Shark Week. That's why we changed it.
You finally came around because I mentioned this twice.
I know, and we agreed on. Why are we talking about this right now in extensively?
Because
We already talked about
because
it.
every time I bring something up, you're like, no.
It's the same way the other way around.
Yeah, but that's because you guys bring up some obscure thing that I'm not ready to talk about. Guys, we talk at length about these movies, and it's hard to talk about a movie that you weren't that into. So I feel like outside noise, like when we have Viana's Review Corner suggest a movie, or Traveling T-Rex suggest a movie, or just listeners suggest movies, it's hard to watch sometimes because I'm not into it. I gotta have the mindset of, oh man, this movie fucking was cool. This is why it got me into it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
No, you don't have that. You don't have that approach.
No, I'll give everything.
So you can
a
talk
chance.
about everything at length, and it's easy because I remember a certain episode, Critters 3. I don't know if you went
I
in.
like Predators 3.
It was one that you didn't necessarily participate very much in. It was a hard talk.
I can't get a word in when you're so excited for the movie, Richard.
Oh my god.
And Leo. Making your dreams come true.
I'm just saying there's something to it. If we both agree on a movie, we both can come at it with it.
Are we done?
What do you mean?
Listen, my stand is I will watch anything. I will give everything a chance. Even if we have to talk about it, we'll find something. We'll find jokes. We'll find personal anecdotes.
Yeah, I mean, we do. I think we do. I think we're yet to find something that was completely god awful where we both didn't like it. I think that'll be a test of our episode. Once we cross that bridge, and it might be next week. I don't know yet. Do you want to announce what we're going to watch?
The Loved Ones.
Yeah.
That's a special request.
By Viana's Review Corner.
Why?
I don't know.
Because it's her birthday. It comes
it's
out on her birthday.
Does it?
Yeah, it comes out on the 15th.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
Well, that's cool. I didn't know that. So, yeah, I don't think any of us have saw this movie.
No.
She just happened to see a trailer for it.
It has good ratings.
That's what I seen, but so did It Follows.
You didn't like it.
You didn't like it either. Get the fuck out of here.
It's not my favorite.
But no, I'm excited to talk about that. But yeah, so we covered our favorite kills, our ratings.
Who would you be in this movie?
Huh?
What character?
Oh, funny that you say that.
Oh my god, you fucking have it on your phone? Just tell me.
I didn't have the note. I wrote a note on this.
Oh, you wrote a note on this? I am not this prepared. I would be Janice.
Hold on.
Oh. We are
keep talking. Keep talking.
For return to find his note on his favorite character.
Stop.
I'm not super into biology. Science is not my strong subject. So I feel like the character here that I could relate to the most, clearly I'm not rich, so I can't be Franklin. It would have to be Janice. She was just kind of trying to do the right thing, the ethical thing. She was pissed when she found out about their crazy experiments. And then she sadly died.
So you'd go Janice? I'm still looking through my notes.
You're still looking?
Yeah, it's good. Trust me.
It's good.
Okay, I found it. So what I have is what I think I would be Carter. I'd be Carter Blake. My leadership and determination, problem-solving skills, I'm fairly good at that. Courage under pressure, I'm very good under pressure. Physical fitness, what's up? No, that one's kind of lagging, but I'm into it. So I think it's pretty good, man. I think with the leadership, resilience, determination, and creative problem solving. Now for you, what I noted was this. Dr. Susan McAllister would be the one I'd choose. This is why: intelligence and expertise in your field, passion and determination, leadership and decision making.
I'm not a leader.
Compassion, and why even more is insightful and analytical, passion for horror, and balanced leadership with empathy and compassion. So I think you embody Dr. Susan McAllister. No? You don't think so?
Janice.
Wah, wah.
She's still doing the same stuff, but she's following the rules more.
She's so annoying.
I'm annoying too.
No, you're not. You're not a Janice. You just don't know yet.
And I'm not a leader.
Mm-hmm. You're pretty good. You're pretty good at it.
I get put into these positions, not by choice.
Yeah, that's what happens to most leaders, dog.
No, some of them fight. They want to be there.
Yeah, some do, but some don't.
Yeah. Well, Susan really wanted to be there. She wanted to find research.
It's like Batman. He's not the hero we want, but he's the hero we need, dog.
I'll be a Robin. I'll be the sidekick. It's a lot of responsibility.
Well, okay. So that was that. She didn't agree with my decisions, my thought process. But anyways, without further ado, we have Viana and the Review Corner. She's coming. Viana in the Review Corner.
She's running.
She's putting her headphones away.
Stumbling up the stairs.
She's getting her headset on. She's about ready.
Geared up.
She's coming in.
overall reviews, they were pretty good for the movie.
Okay, let the review corner cover it, please. I'm kidding.
I got distracted.
Oh man, we're off the rails tonight. Anyways, Viana,
What am I doing?
what?
No, my mom's like handing me her phone.
We'll let you do reviews too, Angelus. Anyways, Viana, how are you doing? You doing all right?
Yeah,
Okay, I'm digging the Alice Cooper t-shirt.
yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
I know you got it for
Oh,
me.
I know. What's up? You know the question I'm going to ask you.
I did watch this movie. I did for once.
And what'd you think about it?
I thought it was good.
You were entertained. I know you came into it the first day. You only watched partial, but you were a little interested when you seen Samuel L. Jackson get ripped apart.
Yeah. You ate my bird.
You ate my bird. That was a cool part too. What would you personally rate this?
Like a 3. Probably the best shark movie I've seen.
Dude, okay, I agree. I think this is my favorite shark movie. Even above Jaws, right?
Yeah, Jaws is like more like, I guess, supposed to be scary, but this one like kind of mixes both.
It's
I guess.
fun. It's
Yeah.
fun. Well, that's cool. I think this is the first time we all agreed on the rating. Your mom ranked it 3, I ranked it 3, and you're ranking it 3.
Wow.
Fuck, this
Yeah, I said 3.
hell is freezing over as we speak. So, did you have fun looking up reviews on this? Do you have some pretty good ones?
Yeah,
Do you want to share?
yeah.
Okay.
In a minute. Not just kidding.
Okay. We can just enjoy this awkward silence.
Yeah. Totally. Break. Give me a minute. I'm
You're
loading
supposed
up.
to be ready.
I know. I was, and then I forgot I had some.
It's
Okay.
okay. I'll edit out the silence. Okay. 5 minutes later, we're ready,
Okay.
guys.
That's not true. Okay. Better than Jaws. Fuck Jaws. 5 stars. Someone said, hell yeah, and gave it a heart.
Okay.
Sharks below, fire above. This is cinema. 4.5 stars and a heart.
Okay.
It's not a summer unless you watch at least one movie with sharks causing a ruckus.
I
3
agree.
stars.
I agree. 3 stars, baby.
I just don't like shark movies. 2 stars. And then someone
Boo.
said, I really don't have much to say about this film. It really bored me a lot. The runtime felt like a slog to get through. There was too much scientific bullshit to wade through. I didn't care about a single character except maybe LL Cool J and his parrot, and I just didn't really vibe with it that much and gave it 2 stars.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone else said, parents can't create their own sentences. When they talk, they're just repeating a series of sounds they've been exposed to. Therefore, when LL Cool J's parrot shrieks, "You've got a fat butt," it means that phrase was something that the parrot heard often enough to properly imitate. So the only reasonable answer is LL Cool J works at a shark lab and talks about his fat butt to himself while he cooks. 3.5 stars.
Okay.
Someone said, fuck yeah, more movies need to end with rap songs based on the movie. And they gave it a heart.
Dude, okay, guys, you got to look that up. LL Cool J made a song about the movie.
Based on the poster, I expected it to be a lot campier than it was. A decent film, but one that I will certainly forget by tomorrow, except for LL Cool J's character. I loved him. 3 stars.
Dang, man, that seems to be the trend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone said, I lost my shit when the shark growled and then ate the main character. 2 stars.
Hell yeah.
This might have been the dumbest shark movie I've seen, and I've seen Sharktopus versus Whale Wolf. 1 star.
Oh my God. Wow, that's a tough crowd.
Yeah.
Dang, that was it?
Mm-hmm.
Dang, those are good ones. I enjoyed it. So it's kind of a mixed bunch, but for the most part, what I gathered, people were kind of ranking this fairly high.
A lot of people liked it.
Damn, which makes sense. Do you have anything else?
I don't know.
Are you excited for the movie we're covering next week?
Not at all. Yeah, I am.
The Loved Ones?
Yes.
So why'd you choose this one?
Well,
Is this like based off personal, like Wheaties and...
No.
Oh, my bad.
No. No, I just found it and I was like, oh, this looks interesting. So I was like,
I think it'll be a good pick. I
Yeah.
think it'll be entertaining. It's something none of us have seen. So
yeah.
Booyah.
Bye.
All right, thank you. All right,
Oh,
Angelus is
microphone
back.
on my nose.
I'm Angelus.
Ricardo.
So did you look up, do you have reviews? You're pretty excited to share some reviews. What do you got?
No, I just had the average of the critics' reviews.
Oh, okay. So yeah, do you want to share that? What was the critical response from IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, all that?
IMDb 5.9 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gives it at hearty 60%, Metacritic 54%, and Google users 70%.
So I think we're all kind of in agreement. Like, it's weird. Everybody is giving it essentially a 3. I'm feeling like, give or take.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
Average.
That just tells me that's a well filmed movie.
Well-rounded movie.
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. So it's considered a solid entry in the shark genre. So do we need to cover any business?
Go check out LL Cool J.
Oh, by the way, this movie got a Stephen King endorsement. That's a fact. After recovering from a near fatal accident, Stephen King watched Deep Blue Sea as his first movie back in the theaters, and he stated that he loved every minute of it. Thanks, Stephen King. I did too. That's just what I had. And, okay. Well, we don't have any business?
No, not today. I don't think so.
Guys, we're getting close to 3,000 downloads, 1,000 followers. Once that happens, guys, we have a big giveaway to go. I'm pretty excited. Again, we got a all-paid expense. Universal Studios.
Not April's Fool.
Just joking. But no, it's pretty cool. I'm pretty excited, guys. You got to stay tuned for it. Get those downloads in. Get some followers. Tell 50 of your closest friends to come follow us. And
follow us where?
On Instagram. What's our handle?
I don't know, Richard. I think it's the name of our podcast.
Horror Cinema Obsession. What's our TikTok?
I think it's the same thing.
Horror Cinema Obsession. What's our YouTube?
I think it's the same.
Horror Cinema Obsession. Anyways, guys, Google us. You can find it. We might be the third one down on the search engine for our own goddamn name. But anyways, we're on a tear. We're coming. We're for you. We're lighting up the whole United States. Downloads, baby. Thanks for the support. All right. Hasta la gosi.
Thanks for listening to Horror Cinema Obsession. We hope you had as much fun as we did. If so, help spread the word by leaving a rating and review wherever you listen to podcasts. And join us next time for another episode of Horror Cinema Obsession.